correctly. Hello, everyone. We're gonna watch some Deep Space Nine today. Guess you didn't see that coming, because, you know, very chaotic schedule we've got going on over here. Some, pretty good episodes today. 2 excellent episodes, and one that I don't actually remember anything about, other than Cisco's dead wife is in it. But Rules of Engagement and Hard Timer were great. No, not Sub Rosa.
Yes, they are.
We can't watch Sub Rosa every week, even though it is an amazing episode.
Ugh.
It's a great episode.
I'm kind of sad I missed Sub Rosa. I could have taught you all the pronunciations.
Sub Rosa?
I mean, it was great to go to Ireland. It was Ireland, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's Scotland!
It's the same thing.
No
They're
different.
the same
We're not having this
country.
conversation again.
So yeah, the first episode is going to be Season 4, Episode... What is it, 17? Yeah, 17. Rules of Engagement. Deep Space Nine. Very good, where...
Don't worry.
Where Worf murders a bunch of civilians.
Oh, my favorite.
My favorite people to kill in war.
Well, it does start with like my worst ever TV cliche ever, which is the dream sequence.
Of the dead children?
Dream sequence. Just the concept of a dream sequence in TV where it's all misty and they're walking down a corridor and the symbolism and it just does matter.
Okay. So how's the weather where y'all are? How's it in Germany? How's it in... I think we have some people on the East Coast.
It's actually
dark.
warm-ish here.
It's always raining.
It's always raining.
Mm-hmm.
How's it in England, other than dark?
Might rain later, you're probably right.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Right here, hang on, let me look it up because I can't actually see out the window because there's a blackout curtain and I don't want to move to get it. Let me see what the weather is where I am.
You really hate the sun, don't you?
Well, it's a shared backyard, so I have to have the curtain or people can just look inside at me all day.
I hate the sun.
Get yourself a long stick and you can just poke the curtain out the way and see what it's like.
But it's a blackout curtain, so it's...
Yeah, is it day outside? How would you know?
Well, there's a little sliver of light just to the left of my monitor on the wall, so I can see how bright it is.
Ah, okay.
So that's a plus. I just can't see if it's cloudy, and with my headphones on, they're sufficiently isolating that I can't hear if it's raining with them on. Which is somewhat unfortunate, because I love the rain. It's my favorite kind of weather.
No.
Now, there's a different theme song for this episode, though, right?
I don't think so. No, it's...
That is a
no.
different theme song.
That's not...
This is the Law and Order episode. I mean, come on, it really is.
Are you trying to get me shut down with copyright strikes? What are you doing over there? You fool.
It was such an accurate recreation.
It was. It was very...
Everyone thought they were watching Law and Order.
I don't know, I thought it was this theme song.
Oh, I love that show.
Oh, by the way, I have determined it is partly cloudy.
Okay.
Which is what it always is, so I didn't really need to look that up. It's always partly cloudy. So I guess, unrelated to the show, we've got 45 seconds till we start, by the way. For Dungeons and Dragons, we're probably gonna have to split into 3 groups of 3 now. 3 groups of 3.
Wait. D&D is not going to be streamed, right?
No, it's not on stream. No.
Exactly.
No, people on YouTube chat, you don't get to see our games. That is a private event.
Unless you don't want to be on any streams. No.
Yeah, you just join the Discord.
Hey guys.
15 seconds to start. Rules of engagement.
It won't be that interesting.
10 seconds. And hopefully it'll be somewhat interesting. Everyone press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And thank you, Jazz, for ending right on time.
Should be interesting.
So, having watched this episode twice for homework. What I just noticed is that this beginning scene actually justifies the rest of the whole episode, because it shows Worf's fear that the Klingons were going to take over the Defiant and kill everybody on board. And that's why he did what he did.
Yeah, that makes sense. Though, I have to question, what do you mean for homework?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I think at one point, a month or two ago, there were so many people talking at the same time. Some people wanted to talk about the episode. Some people wanted to digress and talk about, Trek and life and spirituality. And so I said, the best thing to do is just to watch the episode beforehand as homework, and that way you can have the lively banter and do the commentary on the episode in an intelligent way that does service to our viewers.
Nice.
Fair enough.
That sounds like far too much effort, but you go.
Certainly more effort than I put in.
You'd just be sad like me, and I've watched them so many times you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I already
Yeah.
know all the story beats of this episode just because I've seen it too many times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thought I knew that, and then it turns out there's some episodes I'd missed. Like I hadn't seen the turn
That's always a
getting
treat.
wiped. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, this
Also,
episode
I
is
was-
probably one of the ones that I know the best. This one I can quote pretty solidly.
I realized as I was watching it the first time with you guys, like, I was missing some episode beats or plot points. And that's not good because it's like you're asking questions that you should know. So I'd rather be the person to be like, well, they say in the episode later that Kira says
Okay.
this.
Actually.
Actually.
I mean, I've told DB this many times for his profession. If you want to actually us and you're actually correct, that's fine.
Well,
Oh,
actually,
no.
you can
You've
actually.
opened the floodgates
I'm
now.
sorry.
Actually,
As
you
long as
never
you're
told
correct
him
in
that.
your actually. You have to be confident.
No, this
If
is
you're
a
not
bad
correct,
standard.
You get banned from
Ryan.
the server.
You can't know if they're correct, for one, and two, that's not what's bad about well, actually.
This is my show. We could actually all we want.
Well, actually.
Well, actually, yeah.
Well, actually,
Well, actually, I decide the rules here. Thank you.
I know
Also,
you
yes, there's-
decide the rules. I'm just saying you're making stupid decisions.
That's okay. Yes, there is the opening credits triangle ship, but just a reminder, the opening credits triangle ship doesn't count because we're looking for unique triangles. Unique triangles.
Mm.
That one's always
Yeah.
there.
Or isosceles triangles.
Right. And so I've only probably seen each series like once, besides a couple of reruns here and there. So I really, like when other people on the stream have seen like every episode 5 times, and then I look like a dunce. So I said, you know what, I gotta do my homework.
Not wasting your life watching all of Star Trek 5 times does not make you look like a dunce. I can promise you that.
Excuse me, only once? Ugh, filthy casuals.
I know.
This hearing takes days, doesn't it, in this episode? But I'm pretty sure Judge Judy would have sorted this out in 20 minutes.
this guy's probably one of my favorite one appearance only Klingons ever.
He is
He is
really good.
Him and the one in
Yeah.
Enterprise had no warrior role whatsoever. It's like a scientist or something.
Yes, there's this guy whose name is Chapak, and then the Enterprise one, I don't know his name, but he's played by Martok, and he's pretty cool. Martok lawyer.
But it just shows like the Klingon philosophy going into things other than actual combat and war.
Yeah.
Because he treats like the courts as a battlefield. And it's just really cool.
Ooh, directed by
Yeah,
LeVar
that's
Burton.
How would it
Whoa!
actually be useful in the Klingon
Sounds-
Empire, though? Like, how did this guy get to be a lawyer?
I mean, someone's got to do it.
So
He says-
staggered. So
They usually
staggered
just
that
kill
like
each other, though,
Martok
and then they
replaced
call it
Martok.
quits?
Well, he might be a lawyer to deal with other peoples like he's doing now.
Like
General.
other empires and things.
It's like lawyer Martok in Enterprise. Archer is like, what do you mean they're Klingon lawyers? It's like, you didn't think every single person was part of the warrior cast, did you?
Motion detected at the front yard.
And the science.
Not motion to the front yard. My god.
Oh god, the front yard! Protect
They
it.
give opening statements and then adjourn immediately?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, legal.
Yeah,
Also-
she got bored.
The episode had a really quick intro. It went right to the opening sequence.
such a great idea to have a trial before you've even discovered the facts. That's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it works in real life.
It's
most
not
of
a
the time,
trial,
isn't it?
it's a hearing. It's totally different.
Yeah, and at one point, this Klingon lawyer, he even says that it depends if Worf was a warrior in the hunt when he was
Lost
When
in
he
the
was-
bloodlust of combat.
right, when he was attacking the ship. That means
I
that
can
the
quote this
Klingon
episode for
Empire
sure.
has jurisdiction over Worf, and that he should be tried in a Klingon court, which is a very interesting legal argument.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
No, but it's interesting.
Yeah. Legally shaky,
Like, if
I would think,
somebody's-
but
If someone's behavior changes to a different cultural norm, they are supposed to be tried by that culture, is sort of the argument he's making.
Well, a good analogy might be that when you commit a crime in another state, they extradite you to that other state to hold you trial. And the reason is
Yeah,
because
but
during the American Revolution, the British, would try their own soldiers back home in England after they did whatever, crimes in the colonies. So that's why the American Constitution made it clear. Give your mom a kiss, Kevin.
Made what clear?
so
Motion detected.
Chapok here. Chapok is a regular guest star. He was also in TNG. He was in the episode The Masterpiece Society, where everyone was genetically engineered to be perfect. He was very angry at the Enterprise crew showing up and disturbing his perfect order.
Oh, he was that guy.
Show was that?
That was TNG,
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you.
which I only actually know because I was looking at that for. I needed a clip from it for a video.
So that's another joy of
okay,
the
it's
stream
okay.
that I get. Sometimes, I find an episode that I've never watched in TNG and Deep Space Nine, and I'm blown away. It's like a revelation.
And I believe every word. That its officers do not lie or commit fraud.
Oh dear.
Is this the show where we just quote the episode before it happens on stream? So we could just prove our vast knowledge of Trek. Klingons are not concerned with matters of fact and circumstance.
What about that time Cisco does the thing with the Romulans, though, and then he lies about it? So I think Federation officers do lie.
They lie
Yeah.
a lot, actually.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he can live with it.
We can't live with it. It's true.
He can live with it.
They lie, but they do it in such a smart way that no one finds out.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, the
It's not
Vulcan
fraud if you're not caught.
The Vulcan
True.
judge advocate agrees with the Klingon lawyer's reasoning here. That Worf's intentions are essential to the outcome of the case.
Yes. Motives are relevant to what he
Mhm.
was
Even
doing.
in
Oh.
human court.
It is a
Although it
very
doesn't-
interesting argument he makes.
Although it doesn't mean that Klingons will have jurisdiction over Worf.
Yeah. But it mostly means the difference between manslaughter and murder.
Hmm.
Right. And but there's also first degree murder, second degree murder, first degree
Yes.
manslaughter, third degree manslaughter. So there's degrees of negligence and accountability.
Objection?
What-
Can we clarify for the court whether she is legally an expert or giving opinion?
She.
We need to pad the episode. Come on.
Don't approach Dax, the bailiff will tackle you.
So what do you guys think? You think Worf did it on purpose?
I
I
don't
think he did.
I don't think he was
Well,
wrong to
He
fire.
admits it, doesn't he?
He right towards the end, because Cisco's pissed at him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, it is his fault. But the thing is, though, here, I mean, there were so many ships decloaking in that final battle, and
It was completely reasonable.
they do a really good job of building up the story and revealing it piece by piece.
Hmm. I quite like how they do the scenes as they are described. So you see the fights happening as they are sort of unfolding the events they talk about.
Yeah, and then
Mm.
Dax and O'Brien break the fourth wall while they're giving their testimony on
Yeah,
the
they
Talk
look
to the
directly
camera.
at the camera.
O'Brien doing that might be my favorite moment in this whole series.
It was very good storytelling. Oh, even here, Dax is looking at the camera in a minute.
I think the first time I saw this episode was on TV, and that's where I tuned in, where all of a sudden Brian is just talking to me personally, like, what is going on?
Yeah, it is disorienting as an audience member. You should check out Ferris Bueller's Day Off if you want to see a good example of breaking the fourth wall.
Or Deadpool.
Yeah, well, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off kind of like
Yeah.
originated that.
Yeah, I can't have been the first.
It is a violation of his privacy. And Worf, you're kind of an idiot for buying into this. Don't.
Yeah.
Just say no.
Yeah. By the way, always listen to your lawyer, guys. Do not overrule your lawyer in a court trial. He is looking out for you.
I imagine that Worf actually requested Cisco as a lawyer, because I was just thinking, why is Cisco the one doing this? Why doesn't he have an actual
Odo or
lawyer?
something, you know? That would be better.
I mean, I guess because it's because commanding officer and he's responsible, so it's more of a hearing, like you said. 'Cause
I mean,
there-
it makes
isn't a
sense for
gavel.
Cisco to be called as a witness, but
There's a bell, not a gavel.
Oh, that's what makes it different.
It would just be
Vulcans like the bells.
a judge advocate court hearing, not a court martial.
Yeah, but there's got to be somebody better qualified than Cisco, right?
There's nobody better qualified than Cisco in anything.
I think it looks good in a court of law to have your commanding officer, Captain Cisco, next to you.
Maybe,
It
but
definitely
even
gives you
even somebody in
credence if they
addition
vouch
to
for
him.
you.
Also, Star Trek law doesn't look that complex.
I mean, the reason they do it is, because he's on the cast and it just makes for a better episode. But
Yeah.
you would want somebody really thoroughly versed who dealt with this kind of stuff every day, at least in addition to having Cisco representing.
Yeah, you need an international law lawyer who does war crimes tribunals at The Hague or something.
I was going to
law
say
lawyer.
it'd probably take a while to get a lawyer there, but I mean, the Admiral got there. They could have just taken the same ship. Just
but there's
bring a lawyer
always
from Earth.
There's always that kind of inconsistency with trials, like in Measure of a Man. Like Picard and Riker never should have been arguing those points.
No.
Yeah.
Like that's
Well,
crazy.
I don't
It
have
just
to
makes
stop.
for a better episode.
This admiral doesn't seem like she's
Didn't the Admiral order them? Like, she ordered Picard to be the data
Yeah, and
lawyer,
that,
and she
that
ordered
was such
Riker
a
to
bad
be the
thing. You
anti-
can't do that.
No, that was great because it's such a thorny issue that, like, if you don't argue it, I'm
It
gonna
made for a
rule
better
it.
episode.
It's dramatically interesting, but legally, that is so unethical.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could appeal that, I would think.
Yeah, I want your mom to be the prosecutor, and I want your dad to be the defendant.
unethical, but not illegal.
No, it's
And if your
definitely
mom
illegal
doesn't-
for sure.
If your mom doesn't prosecute you hard enough, I'll throw you both in jail.
Maybe it's not illegal in Star Trek, but it would definitely be illegal in real life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your best friend and your spouse. That's who you get for defensive prosecution attorney.
Yeah, you also can't have a separate lawyer because you need someone who can yell at Chapok, and that's Avery Brooks. Avery Brooks is the best for yelling.
There's really very few other people who can do that.
Especially if you want whisper yelling.
Very
That's
subtle
Picard.
Picard maneuver he done there when he sat back down.
Oh, I missed
Yeah, but
Chapok's line, where the men,
Go-
not just the men, but the women and the children too. They're
That's
like animals, and Worf slaughtered them like animals.
But
And-
that's
Go
episode
ahead.
3. You're mixing up Worf and Anakin Skywalker.
No, I'm pretty sure
like-
that's it.
Anakin who?
Simulation has sand, and we know how Worf feels about sand.
Yeah, who? Worf Skywalker? That's not his name, it's Rozhenko.
Dax has a very
Of course,
interesting line
it's
here.
everywhere.
It's like he
Okay.
has this killing desire in his eye, and then he knows when to stop.
Yeah.
Which
Whoa,
is
Cisco
interesting.
was only wearing commander pips there.
I'm reminded
And
of that
then-
time in like TNG season 1 or 2, where Worf and Riker are fighting in the holodeck, and Riker has to like scream at him to stop because he's about to murder Riker when they're play fighting.
Oh yeah, so Worf doesn't know when to stop.
He's been
Appar-
domesticated.
I
by
guess
this
he's
point.
learned. That was like 10 years ago.
I mean, but
Before
that is the
Worf.
Klingon lawyer's
true.
argument that he's just an out of control bloodlust warrior. But the lawyer also makes a really amazing argument right before the scene cut to commercial. He says that because he was playing on the holodeck, the Klingon thing where he slaughters all the men and women and children, therefore he must have been, in a mood to like kill everybody, which is like the violent video game argument.
Yeah,
I read
don't
it
think that
more
would
as like
fly.
he was
Terrible argument.
desensitized to killing people in that way, to killing innocent people.
Yeah, I
He was
mean the
used
guy who
to
did
it.
the Connecticut massacre in Newtown, Adam Lanza played a lot of first-person shooter games. I think there's a correlation.
I mean, so do a lot of other people.
Yes.
I mean,
I think
that
the
stuff's
issue
been
would be more
extensively
like in a
disproven now.
holodeck when you're actually physically in front of someone and you can feel
Yeah,
your
the
blade
holodeck
going
might be
through their
different.
body and you're actually watching them die in front of
Yeah.
you. That's different.
I think that might be different. Yeah.
Certainly. Also, the Klingons have a racial disposition to violence, so I guess humans would be more sensitive.
You can't say that.
That's racist.
That's space
what?
racist.
That's species.
I mean, that's the argument the Klingon lawyer is making.
It
Yes.
is, like 100%, yeah. I wonder how Avery Brooks, the person, felt about this episode. He probably had some opinions on this episode.
So it was like the vegetarian thing, that somebody posted in the general chat. Like, it's interesting how Star Trek alien races kind of do overlap with like certain ideas of racial stereotypes on Earth in real life.
That's literally the entire purpose of Star Trek.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
it's a
Allegory.
I would say it's
Yeah.
intentional, yeah.
it's a way of exploring those issues.
Yeah, and on the other hand, though, the Federation is a colorblind, merit-based meritocracy society, so
Yep.
it's showing us a better, technically.
Oh, Morn's going to turn to her and say, what's he going to say? Oh.
I wanted to know. It'd be
get
the
back
first
to the
time he ever
Veterinarian?
said anything.
No Morn for us.
The
It's a good
mourns
thing,
for
too,
Morn.
that scene never would have ended.
God, we really do need a legal episode about this.
So
We got the
Who's
one
the
about
president?
Measure of a Man, and he was complaining that the
Yeah.
guy was just wearing his duty uniform. But here, they're wearing dress uniforms. They're all dressed up.
Even Quark looks fancy.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
got,
Quark
like,
always
extra
looks
pins
fancy.
on his jacket.
Yeah, but especially so today.
Okay.
That space leopard print.
If I recall correctly, the Legal episode, he used that point to sell his particular
Yeah.
sponsor. And
Indochino.
I wasn't going to mention it, but yeah.
It's just good business, man.
Quark is actually looking out for Worf when he's doing this.
It's like, no, Worf wasn't talking about how excited he was to murder a bunch of people. No, he was chill. He was just drinking his juice.
And I think it's sort of a general reaction of Quark to sort of not necessarily lie, but hide the truth from authority. I think that's just in his nature.
Yeah, well,
Like,
Quark's a
really
very
impression.
smart and savvy guy in that respect, so he would know when
I
a
don't
leading
think-
question appears.
I don't think Quark is trying to hide the truth. Worf and Quark never got along. Like, they always hate each other. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, like, spill his guts to him.
Maybe
True.
maybe
Doesn't wanna get
Quark
murdered
is happy
after
with
the
Worf
trial.
because Worf went into his bar during the strike. He's like, no, Worf's pretty cool, actually. He's supporting my business when no one else will.
Yeah, Worf's pretty cool about that.
That doesn't mean he was supporting the business. He probably just didn't care. And he just wanted some prune juice.
He has a replicator
You
in
know
his
what it
voice.
was?
Potato, man.
He probably
Whatever
wanted
works.
to go in there because it was quiet and no one else was there.
That's the point, actually.
First time it's quiet forever, and O'Brien comes storming in and just starts a fight with him.
That bloodthirsty O'Brien.
Hey guys, thanks for
Honest-
supporting my business. Oh, whatever. Just get me some juice.
Honestly, I think though, I don't blame Worf. It's because like when you look at the actual climax of the episode when we see the battle, it's like ships are decloaking everywhere. And also the thing was that the enemy Klingon ships would decloak, attack, and then cloak again. So as soon as something decloaked, you would want to fire on it. And what is a cargo ship doing decloaking in the middle of a battle? Like, why don't you go around?
And not just
Yeah.
that, there were a
And-
bunch of ships decloaking. It specifically decloaked in the area where the bird of prey was decloaking before. It took up the position of the bird
Right.
of prey.
And so the episode kind of puts a fact against it by arguing that they knew there would be civilian ships in the area because it was a shipping lane. But space is so huge, I don't see any reason for a civilian cargo ship to decloak in the middle of a battle.
To decloak
Batteries
like
ran
50
out.
meters off the bow of a warship.
Right, where a bird of prey just was.
Yeah, the Klingons done a very good job here of baiting them into it.
Why is Kira on this mission?
Because
She's always
none
on
of
the
this
find,
was on the
isn't she?
staff.
Also, we have to pay Nana for this.
Yeah.
She has a contract.
If Worf
Wait,
is
wait, whoa, whoa.
captain...
Is that triangle? Are those triangles?
triangle ship.
Those are triangles.
Those are
Those are triangles.
Those are
Hold
two
the horses.
triangles.
3.
At least
There are
three.
Three, sorry.
Okay, do we count that as
Right.
21
Stop
or
the
23
presses.
triangle? How many does this count as?
Stop the presses.
That's definitely 3.
Ships, so that's 3 ships.
I think
That's 3 ships.
Add 3.
It doesn't matter
Oh, it's
that they
banner
appeared to have the same kitting, like the same.
Oh,
There's a
some more.
bunch now.
It's like 5 more.
This
Well,
is
some
it,
of those
boys.
weren't triangles. Some of those are the longer
Oh,
style.
God.
No, that wasn't a triangle.
I think there were
No, that
only actually
was-
2 triangles.
that-
I think the other 3 were like the regular boxy rectangles.
The destroyed one was a
Explode.
triangle.
The what was?
The destroyed ship.
No, that ship wasn't a triangle.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it's a cargo
It's a big
transport.
cuboid looking thing.
Okay, you know,
It
I'm
might
going to
have
leave
been-
the counter at 20, and we're going to go back after the episode and look more carefully.
Okay.
Destroyed ship was the same ship that they used in Star Trek 3 for the freighter that meets with Christopher Lloyd's Klingon character, and also the same ship that they used for the Shellyak.
Thanks.
Unless it was a
man,
triangle and the back side of the triangle was facing us. But maybe we need an episode to, like this to sort that out, whether that counts or not.
Does Chapok have something
Yeah.
in his beard?
And O'Brien sells out Worf over here.
Bit of
And
soup
doesn't
or
have a
something.
choice.
7 years of friendship means nothing to him.
What's
He's
O'Brien
not
supposed to
gonna
do? He's
lie.
compelled to testify.
And sworn to
Say-
tell the truth.
But say what I just said is like they were decloaking and in the battle zone, and it's not
But
Worf's
do you
fault.
agree with what Wolf did? He
Mm,
doesn't.
It's not his fault.
It's not, but he's put in that position by
Yeah.
Chipotle over there.
O'Brien's already tried to get away with I support him, and didn't. Chapok's not
Chipotle.
having it.
Yeah, but he says though, if I were in his situation, I would have done something different, and you were not in that captain's chair, so.
You know, Brian gets in trouble.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Nobody else seems to get me.
Because Chapok here is asking him a very specific question at this point, because O'Brien won't give him
Yeah.
a straight answer.
Yeah.
Is that kind of leading question allowed? Like, in an actual
So-
court?
I
Silly
think this
question.
wouldn't
This,
count as a leading question because it's not implying the answer is yes or no.
No, you're allowed leading questions when it's a what's it called?
Cross-examination.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah.
is the helmsman here actually Chempok out of
That wasn't
makeup
in
or
command.
anything?
Sits in the command chair.
But he wasn't in command. This is a hypothetical.
He's just keeping it warm.
It's a very specific question. O'Brien doesn't really have any. He doesn't
Actually,
have any
when you
choice
think
but to
about
answer yes or no.
how
So-
boring courtroom dramas are, they did a fantastic job of embellishing this episode.
Nice little bit of action in the middle of the courtroom.
Yeah, there's action incorporated. I think that's the key. Is they're able to do that.
I think O'Brien's doing his best to try and help out Worf within the
Yeah.
as much as he can, but he can't do much.
You don't want to perjure yourself.
What is Worf thinking right now? Is he like, ah, fuck?
Yeah. Oh, this is a family-friendly stream.
Are you swearing on my Star Trek stream?
Frig.
Heck.
Ah, crap.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
Oh,
I heard
darn
Brian
it.
is swear word.
Darn it. Whoa, whoa. Watch it. Hey,
Those gosh darn heckin' Klingons.
I
They
wonder
make me so peeved.
I wonder if
They're
the
down the
owner of the
street.
Klingon restaurant likes Worf.
Does he even still exist? Is he here? Do we see him again?
I don't think so.
I've never seen. I like this scene because the Klingon lawyer says that he would defend Worf because he likes the thrill of the challenge. So that would be an interesting thing to see.
Is he just saying that though, or is he just lying to get the case over?
He's just saying.
I think he would actually do it.
I think he would too.
Yeah, but once you've transferred into the jurisdiction of the Klingon courts, he doesn't stand a chance. All he promises is I'll keep him out of the death penalty. So
Which means he's going to go to
like,
Ropenthe and just
slave
die
labor.
in 6 months.
Yeah.
Very merciful of them.
Also, he would be like a really famous trial lawyer, even more, if he first got Worf extradited and then he got him convicted without a death penalty.
I really liked when Ch'pak was saying that would be the icing on the cake, that little snarl he gave as he was saying it.
Yeah,
He
His
does
lip
that
was quivering slightly.
He does that big toothy Klingon grin twice or thrice in this episode.
Yeah. There's a lawyer. I think his name is Alan. I think it's Alan Dershowitz. I'm not sure, but he famously does things like this. Like, he's a defense lawyer, but he fights on kind of both sides, like thrill of the fight kind of thing.
He was head of the ACLU, and I think he even defended the Nazis marching in Stokes, Illinois. Neo-Nazi. Because I mean, you have a right to march even if you're a Nazi.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
So that's
Learned
probably
that
hurt
this
someone's reputation.
He doesn't need
well,
any reputation right now.
Jesus.
He's in a lot of trouble.
He's also Jewish. I know, but he's the foremost First Amendment attorney in our country. Yes, lately he has been a bit of a stooge for a certain politician, but he is he's a brilliant legal thinker, and like I said, Harvard emeritus lawyer. So
It's okay. It's okay if he defended Nazis marching, but and he's a stooge for a politician. The same thing.
I actually think most of his trouble is focused on the fact that he has connections to Jeffrey Epstein.
He's gonna sue you for libel, so just chill.
He can try.
Hang on, I always get confused. Would this be libel or slander? What we're doing
Slander.
right
Slander is spoken.
now? Okay,
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Slander is spoken, libel is written. So
The difference is a joke in the Spider-Man
I read
movie.
that on Spider-Man.
Yes.
Well, the funny thing is, though, if it's true, then you can't be sued
Oh,
for
yeah.
libel or slander. But
It's
so
not that it's true. So if you slander someone and you know that it's not true, then that is slander. If you say something about someone and you don't know that it's not true, you're kind of off the hook. In addition to that, Dershowitz is a public figure, which makes convicting anyone who speaks against him really difficult.
yeah,
This
but
guy
the
legal.
accusation of being chummy with Jeffrey Epstein and on a plane and actually encountering underage girls is a pretty serious one that I wouldn't make about someone without evidence. But maybe he did it. I don't know.
Are we allowed to make the statement that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself?
All I said is that he
That's
had
the real
associations
question.
with Jeffrey Epstein is actually a matter of public record because, like, there are flight plans of planes to his island.
No, I mean,
This took a bit
Bill
of a
Clinton,
turn.
Richard Dawkins. There's a lot of people who had ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Anyway,
That is
Star
a
Trek.
funny cartoon.
When I think of
Yes.
Dershowitz, I just think of that image from The Simpsons where he has 3 billiard balls in his mouth. I posted in the Discord chat here.
Thank you.
Why did you post? Why? Why though?
That's Dershowitz on the, or it's a version of Alan Dershowitz. It's supposed to be from The Simpsons.
Yeah,
So-
we needed Alan Dershowitz on this episode.
I don't know because I thought of it because you were talking about. it. I
Okay.
don't know if anyone wanted to
Can
see
we
it.
talk about Star Trek now?
Yeah.
So right now, Worf is saying that no, he absolutely was correct to fire, which somewhat conflicts with his later statements at the end of the episode about no, I should not have fired.
Can we talk about how thin the back of the chairs are that they're sitting on?
Well, it doesn't really matter how thin it
Oh
is.
my,
It depends on the
very
material. Maybe it's a super
Chairs.
comfortable meta material. It can be as thin as it wants.
Generally-
Okay, they're narrow.
It comes with
Speaking-
built-in force fields.
Military court martials have military settings in general have uncomfortable chairs. The only person who gets a remotely comfortable chair is the judge.
Yeah, but I feel like if I were to sit in one of those, I could pick it up with my shoulder blades.
Yeah.
The witness chair
It'll
looks pretty
be
comfortable. It
bolted
looked like he
down.
was in a
There's
recliner.
Klingons in this room.
Producers
Yeah.
are like, chair doesn't look futuristic enough. Cut it in half.
Court martials are very purposely like architecturally designed. So like I mean, usually in a military court martial, they'll even have the guy's hands chained to the floor while he's in his chair. So you
That
know,
seems
and then
excessive.
the witnesses have a little more comfortable one, and you know the jury or whatever, and then the judge will have the one with the headrest. But nobody gets a chair with a headrest except for the judge.
Are
So-
the chains used to imply guilt or just to like keep everyone safe in case the person's crazy?
Yeah, it's usually a combatant, you know, enemy combatant or a terrorist.
Yeah.
So even when you're in the courtroom, you gotta have your hands chained to the ground.
Oh, to answer YouTube chat, Codpiece, we did see triangle ships. There are 2 or 3. It's unclear exactly how many triangles there were. So we need to go back after the episode and verify the triangle counter.
I'm sure we'll get another shot of him at some point in the episode too. Couple of
Yes, we might
shots
see
at
him
him.
again.
I don't think we do. That was
Really?
the climax of the episode. We don't see the battle again.
Just people yelling from now on.
Mostly this guy though.
Especially this guy.
Now, this is going to depend on, is Chapok actually defenseless?
No.
No Klingon who can bear his own weight is defenseless.
Because he's armed just as much as Worf is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got 2.
It is a fair fight.
I mean, you know, there's such a thing as fighting words. Like, we all would have something that would get us angry enough to like.
No, there isn't. Sorry.
No. Yeah.
Like
I
what
don't-
about,
TNG is the worst series.
what about take off your glove and slap somebody with the glove? How about that?
You can
I would just be
definitely find
confused
a
if
way
someone
to-
smacked
to
me with a glove.
provoke
It's like, what are you
people.
doing? Why do you
Yeah,
even
if I
have a
were-
glove? What do you?
If I were in the 18th century, I would be extremely offended.
Now, if someone like hit me with a metal gauntlet, that's different. But like, they just pulled a glove off. Why? Why? What's wrong with you?
Means they hit you
What's
with a
wrong with
metal
you, glove
gun and
man?
You wake up a few days later.
Yeah, that's like
You're-
assault with a deadly weapon.
You're not even good enough to take a slap. You get a glove.
And Robin Hood Men in Tights, he hits him with a metal gauntlet, I think. As a joke on the duel thing.
Isn't that hearsay though?
The judge speaks up here.
Both of you in contempt. You can't hold Worf in contempt for being yelled at.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Worf was yelling back a little bit.
Yeah, he was
little.
yelling back.
I think we all pity Alexander.
Yeah.
So this feels like he's not yelling
He's
anymore,
making a
but he should
speech.
still be held in contempt for this. He
Yeah,
is
it's
definitely
irrelevant.
not stopping.
On yesterday's Trek episode, when Worf's about to commit suicide and Troy stops him, the last word he says is Alexander Jin. So he does think about his son at the most important moments of his life.
Not his adopted son, though.
I remember that. He talks about Alexander.
Yep.
No, he didn't say that, Chapok. He said he wanted to attack a defenseless opponent. That's different than unarmed.
Yeah, you're right. He's not defenseless.
Yeah, he's clearly got 2 arms.
Worf doesn't
if any-
exactly have a knife he pulled. Just punch the man.
Look,
If
this
anything,
lawyer just showed. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if anything, the lawyer just showed that Worf has a lack of self-control in certain instances, anyway.
Yeah, same thing.
So
Yeah, that's pretty awkward.
He done
Got
it in
some
a way
birds
that
of
probably
prey
wouldn't be
circling.
permissible though.
That is a really good lawyer, though, because if you get the defendant to hit you, you pretty much win the case.
The bailiff will tackle you.
No, I mean, I think the jury will see that you're just a savage.
The bailiff tackles everybody.
So would they not have the person chained when they're in that seat instead of being chained when they're sitting down? Like,
That can't be a real thing. There's no way they chain people to the
They
ground.
don't. It's
I mean,
it's specifically built into the legal code. Yeah, because all you're doing is that you're making them appear violent.
Okay, let me just say, with that image that I was talking about, that was the courtroom in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, which is an extrajudicial military
that's
facility
different.
where they try terrorists. So yes, they don't chain people to the ground. They don't chain people's hands to the ground for all military court-martials. Let me clarify that.
Okay, that makes more sense.
But the thing about the guy chained with his hands chained to the ground, he gets like this really uncomfortable chair, like made of metal, the one that they put in schools. And then the two like witnesses or whatever get two like other metal chairs which have a backrest, and then the judge gets the headrest one.
You know, if Japak were a really good lawyer here, he would have just said no. Just say no, and you win. You know, actually, maybe it probably doesn't matter because Cisco still has all the evidence. This is just rubbing it in.
Something a little weird about Chipak in this episode is that twice he admits to Cisco that the Klingons are just doing this because they want to take up more territory, especially sectors from the Cardassians. And he has this like big toothy grin when he says it. I don't think people are in the habit of revealing their military plans and their ulterior agendas, but it's good script writing.
Yeah. Let's make a mess over there.
God, Argos, I just have that clip of that giant mouth woman just looping over and over on my other screen, and I don't like it.
I can remove it if you like.
I love it though.
I typed big mouth into the gifs, and that's the first thing that came up.
Let me pull it up on stream so everyone can experience the horror with me.
Oh my god, I wasn't even looking at that channel.
Open video on new tab.
What are you doing?
This is just what I'm seeing on my other screen. This is just looping over and over again over there. So I just constantly see it in the corner of my eye. Why would you post this?
It was relevant, you know.
Was it? Yeah. Was it though?
Oh, that gif.
Yeah, I've seen it before too. It was pretty horrifying the first time I saw it. Because it's so well done.
It's a list of idiots who decloaked in the middle of a battle and got themselves killed is what it is. That's not heroic.
Yeah.
Children.
There was a Denzel Washington movie called Rules of Engagement. I think it was in 97 or 99. And it's about U.S. soldiers who fire on like Yemeni civilians, and there's a court-martial. And I think it turns out at the end though there were like some violent people in the crowd, and that's why the U.S. troops are firing on civilians. So same plot.
I think this episode is based on a real thing that happened where, like, some plane was shot down because it was mistaken for a military aircraft, which apparently happened recently again. But you know.
Yeah, that was Iran, and that was during the Persian Gulf War or something. The U.S. military shot down a plane. We had to pay reparations to Iran.
Oh right, it was a warship out at sea. There was an incoming plane and they couldn't make contact with it, or they weren't using the correct channel or something. And so since they didn't know what it was, they assumed it was hostile and shot it. But it was just a passenger liner.
Yeah. And the same principle, there was no relations between Iran and the U.S. at that point. Still aren't. So how do you deal with an international incident like this when the two countries don't have any diplomatic understanding?
Man, that enunciation. That enunciation.
I love his enunciation.
441 people somehow survived a crash on Galorda Prime.
I like that.
Under the same captain and crew.
This is just sloppy by the Klingons. Like,
You couldn't even make up some
Make
names.
it up for yourself.
I guess they were too lazy to make up names, make up histories for these people.
So here's a question: do you think Chapak knew this was the case for this, or do you think he was just sent to argue?
Standing up for one you believe in, that's what he does.
He knew.
I don't think he knew.
I think the
he's
next line that
implied
Chapak
he
says
knew.
indicates that he knew.
Yeah.
The next
It's
line.
hard to say, but he does a good job of acting like he didn't know.
All he says is yes.
He doesn't seem that surprised that the whole thing was a hoax.
He just looks sad that he now knows he's lost, because he was just there to win.
True. But he was impugning Worf's motives the whole time, so I'm going to impugn his motives now.
I mean, that expression looks like kind of guilt to me.
Yeah.
Like he's been caught.
I mean, maybe he didn't even know that they'd pulled this. They just put up a good lawyer and told him, "Oh, this is what happened." Totally.
Yeah, I mean, before he does say that each of those names are like seared into my heart.
That was dramatic performance. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot Worf lives on the Defiant.
You could have a lawyer
nice and
who
quiet.
really likes his
snowflake.
client's case.
Is this the equivalent to living in your car, but on Star Trek? Or
No, he lives in an RV in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Who is a snowflake?
Worf.
Okay, and who lives in an RV in a parking lot?
Worf.
Worf. Yeah.
Because he lives on the Defiant.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's an RV that can go to warp speed, so that's pretty cool.
It's very roomy. It has a replicator, infinite amounts of power.
It's a heavily armed war RV.
So it's a self-sustained mobile living facility with cooking and sleeping. It's an RV.
Yeah.
And he can play his Klingon opera as loud as he wants.
Exactly. Because he's in the
Or like getting
parking
on a
lot.
battleship or a submarine.
Yeah.
That would be something that would be very helpful, actually, if real life RVs had their own water purification and stuff, so that they could be self-sustaining. You never have to recharge the batteries or refill the water.
That would be
Phasers.
pretty cool.
Do you suppose
I don't
people
think
who are
it'd be too
walking
hard
by
to
the
do that.
airlock can feel the music that Worf is playing? Because he's playing it so loud.
No one goes over there.
No one goes to that area of the docking ring.
Yeah.
It's
Only if
Worf's
the
favorite
docking clamps are
area.
engaged.
Hey, that's a great position to be in. You can play music as loud as you want.
Hey, no, hang on. Think about it. If you disengage the docking clamps and you just have like magnets holding the ship there, the station won't hear any of it. You'll be completely isolated. The whole Defiant will be a subwoofer.
Subspace woofer.
Do you think Worf likes dubstep?
I don't know. I think Worf is too traditional for that.
Klingon dubstep.
Octual Melota sounded a little
Clubstep.
like dubstep in the beginning.
He would make a good captain, he just said.
Yeah, not Worf's fault. Not.
Well, too bad, Worf. You get to celebrate. You have to
I mean,
celebrate.
but by the way, Cisco's admonition was valid. You fired on a ship without verifying what it was. Like, that's
absolutely.
not allowed in the That's not allowed in the military rule of engagement.
Yeah, but military rule of engagement doesn't account for cloaking ships.
Right.
Well,
No, I mean, if you have a submarine surfacing in the middle of a battle and you just fire on it, you could.
yeah. The submarine underwater counts as a cloaking in real life.
But usually submarines are out to get you, so it would make preeminent sense to fire on a submarine and then ask later what country it belonged to.
If a submarine is surfacing in front of you, it's probably not hostile, because if it was, it would have fired at you before that.
That's
It's
true.
quite a vulnerable position for a submarine to be in when it surfaces.
That is correct.
I just want to mention something else. Since we touched on submarines, the movie Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. You remember there's the part where he
Oh yeah.
where he is on the submarine, and everybody wonders, well, how come he didn't drown on the way to the island? Well, in the storyboard, the submarine never goes any lower than periscope depth, which is pretty common for submarines. And that's why he was not in any danger. And they did shoot a miniature model of that happening, but it turned out to not look good on camera, so they scrapped it.
Saw something about that, like a featurette. Yeah. Spielberg's
Yes.
no dummy. I think he would have.
Specifically for submarines of that era. Nowadays, a submarine is much faster underwater, but yeah, back then, because they had to rely on their battery, because they couldn't use the diesel engine, yes, if you wanted to move quickly, you stayed up.
So I'm only seeing 2 triangles. There might be a third, but it's far away. It's hard to tell.
Are you showing us something? It's blurred.
It is not.
No, it's not.
Y'all are behind.
Somehow my YouTube got paused.
It's not
So-
blurred.
It does that sometimes.
Somehow I'm already done with this. Are you still? Are you still?
The episode's over. I'm just
playing?
scrolling back to look at the
Oh,
ships.
okay.
I'm just going back.
So
The battle.
there's definitely 2 there. The forefront, though.
I think
Yeah,
there's 3
there's-
ships,
the one
but
in the
only 2
foreground?
triangle ships.
Okay, but there's more ships in the wide shot. There's 1 triangle here, 1 triangle here. Scroll forward a bit. Let it continue. That's 2 triangles right next to each other at the front of the convoy.
Woo!
And you just got taken down by YouTube.
Now,
No.
is that this triangle and this one, or is that this and like behind this freighter? Then what's this? Is this a third triangle and a 4th triangle?
That looks like 3. 1, 2,
That looks like a
3.
3rd triangle.
Oh, there we go.
3 triangle ships and 2 cargo ships.
Well, then I think there might be a cargo ship behind this cargo ship. I'm just gonna say 3. That's fine.
Yeah, just say 3. If there is another ship, yeah, it's a cargo ship instead.
We're up 3 triangles.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest jump ever?
That's the biggest jump ever. That's the most triangles we've ever seen in a single episode.
Until the triangle ship armada comes.
The triangle armada.
Yeah, for our next episode, triangle
not seen
ships
that.
everywhere. We'll
The
start in 5
triumvirate.
minutes.
Yeah, we
All
gotta
right.
figure out how to make a Ryan an episode of like all triangle ships and just give it to him for his birthday.
And actually, the way they fly, it's like Mighty Ducks. So it's a triangle of triangle ships coming at you.
Like how
All
the
yelling quack,
Triforce is
quack, quack.
like how the Triforce is a triangle of triangles.
Oh, even better. Oh, wait, who taught you that special maneuver?
I think like or like
Jesus.
we could do the starburst formation of triangle ships.
Did you guys get to that one yet in the TNG watch?
We call it the starfish.
Not yet.
Okay, so the next episode, 1 minute timer. If I can just get that queued up. There we go. 1 minute to hard time. The darkest episode in all of Star Trek.
So we got 2 more triangle ships confirmed.
That was 3. We started the stream with 20. We're up to 23.
Thank you.
So the next episode, okay, this is a Torture O'Brien episode, right?
Yes. Yes. O'Brien must suffer.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's
Yeah,
a
so-
rehash of the Cardassian episode. Really. Just you know what it is. Sorry, I don't mean to. It's what it is
okay.
when it's really when he comes home from the Cardassian interrogation and then he deals with those after effects. They just gave another reason for Keiko to like go after him.
This is like a super dark version of Inner Light.
Kinda.
Yeah, it's Inner
true.
Dark is what it is.
All right, 10 seconds.
Good one.
Everyone
And
be
there's no
ready. Queued up to
Rasican
0.
flu.
Hard time. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. Continue.
There's no Resican flute. Only like
Hard
moldy,
time.
day-old food and a dead fellow prisoner.
And a phaser.
His Resican food
Pain,
in this
lots of
episode is
pain.
There is a phaser.
It's old Brian.
The Resican flute is what? Sorry.
Drawing patterns in the sand.
Yep.
How about
there
we
you
just how about we just say this is all in his head? End of episode. Moving on.
Do they replenish the sand periodically? That's what I think.
go. Oh wow, that's
They
like a
don't
Zen
re-
garden.
Plenish it. They just smooth it over to just
Because
to
it looks
be
very
mean.
clean. You think it would get dirty over time?
I think that's
True.
the purpose of that beam that just went over him. It's like a cleaning thing.
It looks like it was abrasive too.
Zen Garden.
I like
He
that.
ruined
What
his
if
Etch a Sketch. He's got to start all over.
what if we did Inner Light, but for O'Brien?
Oh. You know, this really is the worst possible jail cell because it's full of sand. And sand, it's coarse, and it's rough, and it's irritating, and it gets everywhere.
It's like a jail cell full of sand.
It's not like you, Ryan.
The actress who's playing this woman here has another connection to Inner Light. She plays Picard's wife in that episode.
Oh dear.
Picard's wife.
Yeah, that's right.
It's awesome. Connected.
That's a great connection. Yeah.
It's like poetry.
So this is supposed to be, he's been in this thing for 20 years, and it's been 25 years since the episode aired. So if you pull up a picture of Cole Meany today, looks a lot like this. He's better shaved, but other than that, he looks the same.
Unless he's been
Definitely one of the
quarantined so
better
much.
old
in real
makeup
life.
jobs, yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and bring up a picture of Column. All right, a particularly unflattering picture that should do. There's Column these days.
Colm, you mean?
I think it's pronounced
Meany.
Column. Column.
Column Meany.
Column.
Column Meany.
Column.
Thanks, Kevin.
We know.
Don't say it wrong.
Trying to make sure you hear me. I'm like having audio issues.
We hear you. We hear you.
That wasn't a very unflattering picture. That looked pretty good.
No, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. We all should look that good. 20 years after our prime.
He does kind of look like Bilbo, doesn't he? A little bit like old Bilbo.
Oh, but I just want to note, yes, it does say cycles, and O'Brien says years. But first, we don't know how long their year is because they have a different sun. So, it might have been like 20 weeks. But this actually reminds me of the opening scene of Les Miserables. It's like, and there's so many versions of Les Miserables, so you know what I'm talking about. But they say to him, well, originally he was in jail for a loaf of bread for 5 years, but then for trying to run away, he gets another 20. Or like he runs away 4 times and they give him an extra 5 years, so he does basically 25 years for a loaf of bread.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the Nordic countries where trying to escape from prison is not in itself a crime because it's assumed to be natural to try and escape.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's a really interesting thought. I never thought of that.
Well, there was this guy who stabbed this tennis player in Sweden. He got like 3 months of jail and then they let him go.
Okay.
It was just a tennis player.
Huh?
I mean, I know American prison sentences can be a bit harsh, but that seems a bit light.
Well, there's a reason for that. In my political science class, we studied the legal systems of American and Europe. And so during colonial America, everybody was treated pretty badly. During the 1800s, prisons were a terrible place to be. But in Europe, the elite were given like comfortable jails and the poor people were given like miserable jails. So when they reformed in Europe, what they decided was everybody's going to be an aristocratic prisoner. And in the US, it kind of went the other way. Everybody's going to be in a dirty, dingy jail cell with no rights.
Plus, you're super rich, and you get those country club jails, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just get a fine.
Yeah.
There's the good old
You an
credits
attorney?
triangle. Very important.
Me? No, that was a political science class, but it was taught by a law. He was taught by like this. He taught law, although he didn't have a law degree. Great professor.
But you knew a lot about military trials and stuff from the last episode, right?
True. I wanted to be a journalist in college, so it's my job to know everything.
Okay, I'm not an attorney. I work with a lot of attorneys, but definitely not on that side of things. It's more entertainment, business law. So I'm very curious. I ask them a lot of questions about stuff, and I like learning about all that court martial stuff was fascinating.
And then when I was in high school, my best friend had me sign up for moot court and mock trial. Is when you sign up. It's when you argue artificial cases in front of civil court or the U.S. Supreme Court. So I like reading Supreme Court cases for fun too.
U.S. Supreme Court.
Yep.
So what caused that divergence in the way that the prisons work? Because on one hand, it's about rehabilitation, but like, why did that decision? Where was the fork between the U.S. and Europe?
America's a republic, so we don't have an aristocracy as a legal class. So that's why everybody became, and also during the colonial era, they didn't really have jails. That's why they would dunk you in the water or like put you in the stocks. I mean, even back then, nobody had jails really. So it just became like, in other words, that's basically the thing. We didn't have an aristocracy, so we weren't going to bring all prisoners up to the level of a comfy jail.
Perhaps not as a legal class, but we do have a de facto aristocracy in this
No,
country.
of course. But we don't have dukes and duchesses, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't have the cool titles to go with it.
We just have the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Kardashians.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
both
but-
wear both wear leather and want to rule the galaxy.
What, Golf
Of course,
Kim?
though,
Is that what we're doing?
Bernie Madoff's not going to be in the worst jail, the federal jail in the country, right? They give him a nice minimum security. He gets a jog around a lot. You know, he gets fresh air a couple hours a day.
Nice new necklace.
And yes, he killed himself in jail.
What? Who said that?
Hey, Rene Echevarria is the producer. He was also one of the best one of the writers on the show.
I feel like his reputation degraded there. One of the best, one of the biggest, just one of them.
Sorry. And then it says Ronald Moore was also a producer. So they had all the writers be producers at this point. That's fine. And
I mean,
Stephen
producers
Bear-
are pretty cheap credit. Like, they're shows with like 15 producers.
Yeah, definitely. But look, it says Ira Stephen Bear is executive producer, so that means he's showrunner at this point.
Yeah.
Does O'Brien ever express any like after effects of this in future episodes, or does it just go away?
Nope.
No.
He's fine.
At the end of the
Don't worry
episode, they're
about
like, you're going to have to take medication and go to therapy for a while. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay. And then he's okay for the rest of the series.
The question would be, is he
fine.
like miserable or easily agitated? And he kind of was before. So my guess is that there's really no change.
Oh, yeah, he does already kind of have some war trauma.
Is this
I
a
like how-
flashback now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's reliving the memory. But I like how the door locked with
Yeah.
the green light going down the vertical slit.
Now,
Stay in
this
there.
This is a very interesting idea. It's like if you graduate from high school and then the school gets completely renovated or half of it gets demolished or something, and then you go back for your 10-year reunion and you see all the changes and you feel like something's lost and the past is lost, etc. And then in this sort of situation, you'd like wake up from the dream or whatever, and then you'd go back and say, oh, it's all back, even though it wasn't there, whatever. It's a really strange mental concept to kind of wrap yourself around multiple
it's almost
memories at the
Kafkaesque.
same time.
It's almost Kafkaesque or something.
I guess the
It's,
question is, would you believe it when you woke back up again?
Oh, that's
Not
a
immediately.
that's a kind of scary question.
Like,
Well,
who do
it's
I
a little
believe?
allegory
You
of caves.
or my?
Like, yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, would you believe that it is now reality? Or do you think it's just like a nightmare you've slipped into in your prison cell?
That's the thing.
I'm-
But if your mind makes it reality, it's reality for you. So I mean,
Exactly. So it's like, who do I believe? You or my lying eyes?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
To
not
be
really
fair-
specified in the episode, but are we supposed to think that O'Brien interacted with this and that was an interactive program, or did they just play this thing in his head and make him murder HR?
We're going to.
They played it.
We don't know.
Yeah, we're
I think they
discussing.
played it deliberately.
Bashir's
until they
explaining right
murdered
now
him.
that he actually made decisions. What happened?
In his mind,
there
he
we go.
lived those 20 years, and he felt the pain.
Yeah, they
Those
just tied a
memories are
VR
real.
headset to him.
It's also like that Voyager episode where Tom Paris, when you murder someone, the crime is that you have to relive the murder every 20 minutes, which is a very
Yeah.
interesting legal penalty.
Just
there's a
damn
Black Mirror
practical.
episode kind of like that.
O'Brien is
One thing
like dealing with PTSD. I mean, this is what it is. I know it very well. It's like he's dealing with PTSD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right now Bashir is saying that he was on set like 3, so it's connected to his war experience with PTSD.
What I don't understand is if they can make a program where you relive a prison experience, why can't they make a program where you relive effective therapy?
Well, they
You
found
know,
a solution and stopped.
Or like
This works. Why do we need to?
That's boring
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, or a thing where it's like, okay, I didn't know that was a crime. Well, here is our entire legal system. You're about to get a law degree.
Or I have a traumatic memory of my childhood, and I just need a happy childhood programmed in me. So can you do that, please?
Yeah, it's what Tony Stark does in what is it, Winter Soldier? I don't know, one of the Marvel movies where he has like a holographic childhood he's reliving.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's not
Being
as easy
forced
as
to get a law
as it
degree
sounds.
in VR might be considered in of itself torture, though, right?
What's going on? What's going on here? Is Miles trying to remember his favorite soup or something? Or, whoa!
Yeah.
No. The guy gave him like a chila fruit in the jail, so he wants a chila fruit, and the computer doesn't know what a chila fruit is. So he's trying to program it because he's in a post traumatic daze.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that happens this episode. Jeez.
Well, this isn't the announcement of the pregnancy.
Okay, was that last week? Did I miss that?
That was a week or 2 or 3 ago. Yeah, that was when she got back on the station, and it was like, "Guess what? I'm pregnant." It was like, "But we only actually got together once in like the last year."
Yeah, that's
already.
when O'Brien is like, I was hoping I'd have sex with you more.
Yeah.
This is also a weird experience for Keiko because this is the experience that Miles has been through. She's never going to be able to understand it.
Yeah,
And
but
yet they
honestly
have to
though,
live
this is her
their life.
second time. Her husband has been like kidnapped by aliens, and like we don't know where he is.
Yeah, he served on the Enterprise. He dealt with all kinds of weird crap. I'm sure this is just another one.
I'm feeling bad for Keiko, and I'm not like mad at her.
She's trying.
Like he's always different, like jaded and like, different.
If this had been a real-time sentence that he had been serving for 20 years, then like they would have had phone calls and during that time, etc., and visitation. And so in that sense, she would have gone through it with him, or at least walked alongside him, etc. So that makes this experience very, very different than if it had been real time. Even just for Keiko.
True. Yeah, she would have been old and like the widow waiting with the candle by the window.
Yeah, or maybe she would have even moved on. I mean, who knows?
Turn off my camera for a second.
Yeah, it makes sense in that sense that he wouldn't have been as isolated as he is now, and the same for her.
So here's an idea. What these reactions and PTSD, etc., that he's having, do you suppose that that's an intent of their justice system? That
to destroy people.
That's one of the reasons why they do it this way instead of in real time?
I would assume so, because the effects must just be pretty obvious.
Yeah,
I think it's just convenience for them, isn't it?
Maybe their species has a different psychology, and O'Brien's being affected worse than they were expecting.
But again, that Voyager episode where Paris has to relive the murder every 20 minutes. I think rather than putting somebody in life or even the death penalty, I'm pretty sure that would deter anyone from murdering again if they had to relive like blood on their hands every.
To be fair, that episode, it was glitching due to biology as well.
And also, Tom Paris was innocent in that episode.
Another complication.
So this prison system, I think that Ferengi would love to buy it because they can punish people and get them right back into the workforce.
Are you kidding? I can sell you 10 years of Holosuite experience in 5 minutes.
That's a good way to get people addicted.
Yeah.
Vulcan Love Slave Part 2, The Revenge.
Only 15 bars of Latinum. I'll give you a discount next time you come back 10 minutes later.
This green
wife
prisoner
number 3.
Here, this green prisoner here, has he been given a name?
HR.
Yeah, this will be practically basically immortality. You can just live forever in a hologram.
Actually, yeah. Hey, you've only got 6 months left to live. Let me give you. I can make.
Let me give you like 4,000 years.
Deep value.
Would that
Isn't
work
that-
as a group as well? You could go in as a group and live 1,000 years.
Okay, this is getting really
the Black
Inception-y.
Mirror Christmas special. Black Mirror Christmas special actually was all about that, where you basically, have a person's mind run through time much faster than we're actually experiencing it, and they'll leave someone over the weekend, live like 1,000 years. It's just like torture.
Bandersnatch, right?
Because the brain can only have so much information at a
Yeah,
certain
I was
point.
going to say that. Like in the
Yeah.
finite amount of memories the human brain can carry.
Well, look,
There's also
Go ahead.
there's also only so much suffering that a human being really should endure in their life, which is why my theory is that our natural lives have a natural end, so that you're finally relieved of watching people around you die and your body degrading and
We're
stuff
supposed
like
to
that.
die. Yes.
I'd rather not if it's
Isn't
not
that
the same
just
thing.
a cultural expression to deal with the way life works, though? Because if we lived longer, it wouldn't be those thoughts wouldn't be as pronounced.
True. But
Possibly. But maybe not, but you still, like when you're 60 and you're talking to your grandchild or whatever, you've already watched your own parents grow old and die, and you know that that's going to happen exactly to this child in your lap. And when you're 16, you don't, and you're talking with your cousin who's 6 or whatever in the same way, you don't know that because you have not experienced it. So there is a difference that you carry with you or there is a difference that you gain through living your life.
It's a perspective change, basically.
Yeah.
And I remember once when I was very young, probably like 10, I'm the youngest of all my siblings, and I have quite a few, and I remember very distinctly being upset because I was going to have to watch all my siblings die first because they're older than me.
Well, to be honest,
that was
Ryan,
an
that's if
unpleasant
you're
thought to
lucky.
have.
That's if you're lucky.
Yes.
Yeah, fate can roll the dice on that one, unfortunately.
It's also a really weird thought for a kid to have.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
it
say this.
is.
I don't know why
When
I
was a
had it.
kid,
I don't
thought-
remember. But
I thought
Do
you
we
would
need
have
to
to marry.
talk?
When I was a kid, I
I
thought
don't need a
everybody married their
psychologist.
sister. So, I don't know.
What?
Oh,
What?
in the south?
Hang on.
Wait,
You from
Hold
Alabama or what
No,
part of the country?
I
wait,
don't
I have
know
a
how
very.
it worked.
This is a very important question. Do you have a sister?
Yes.
Okay, that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, change the topic.
Okay.
Darts.
How about darts?
Oh,
It's
obviously
like
that's
poker,
just
only with pointed tips.
not
Darts,
understanding
anyone?
how the world
They
works.
also play it wrong.
It's
They
a
do,
good thing
that's
everyone's
true.
got so many prosthetics on, if you can just throw them at people.
Yeah, darts is kind of like poker.
With pointed
Yeah.
tips, yes.
There
Lots of
was
that.
that DS9 I never got into much. I watched a few episodes, but not a lot. And then Voyager, we watched the
talking
first
about
2 years of that very religiously even. And so I remember that one episode where Harry Kim got taken prisoner. And, well, not prisoner, really. But he was,
The one where they made him think he was like special. He was one of their species. Is that what you're talking about?
no, he actually got put in a prison, is what I mean. And then there was a character who was another prisoner who became his mentor, and it was really, really clear to me that and this mentor had a manifesto that he had written, and it was really, really clear to me that
Right.
was supposed to be a parallel of the book Man's Search for Meaning by
Carl Jung.
no, not Carl
Yeah, that
Jung.
was the shoot.
Viktor
Victor walked
Frankl.
in there with Tom Paris.
Viktor Frankl. Yes, thank you, Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
So while this
Very
has been going, I filled out the D&D schedule. I redid it for Deutschland because he filled it in like Deutschland.
Yeah.
That's okay. He has a husband and 2 cats to worry about, so that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I've got 2 cats.
Yeah, but you don't have a spouse, right?
Well, my cats aren't gonna play.
So we'll go over it after this episode. Oh, hey, it's Munez. He's alive. He's okay.
Yeah, the episode where he dies hasn't
For
happened yet.
now.
Yeah, he's okay for now.
Well, if it helps, my spouse is about 4 hours away north, so meh.
So he's not going to be playing?
No.
No, he can. It's online.
No.
Same
I was
same
trying to
time
cut you some
zone or
slack.
different?
Same time zone. He's up in Brussels.
If he wants to play,
Actually,
I mean, this is a strictly online
Why
game.
is
He
he
can
in
play.
vegetables? Hey.
I actually got back here like 9 hours ago.
Does he work for the EU?
He's a teacher for the NATO school up in Brussels.
Oh, I thought he worked at the European Parliament building.
Yeah.
Now, Herr Deutschland, I do have a problem with your spouse in that I can't call you both Herr Deutschland. If you had a wife, I could do Herr Deutschland and Frau Deutschland, but I can't say Herr Deutschland 1, Herr Deutschland 2. What am I supposed to do? Sorry, Herr Deutschland 1, Herr Deutschland 2.
There you go.
I mean, he's not really on the stream. So
I guess he might be Alt Herr Deutschland. He is older
Okay.
than me.
Andere Deutschland, perhaps?
Well, technically, he's Herr Brussels right now.
Herr Brussels. Which is, sure, Herr Brussels. That's his name now. Thank you.
Actually, it's Brussels. So let me check something here.
I don't know the proper pronunciation.
Brussels, yeah.
Or the local
Man,
pronunciation, I
Brian's
should
so
say.
stressed here. He's always stressed.
Oh, that's fine.
He
That's
stresses himself out.
Actually, he's in Brussels. So it'd be Monsieur Brassel.
Yeah.
Monsieur Brassel?
Because they all speak French in Brussels.
No, not Mr. Brazil.
Brassel.
There's some really interesting musical scores kind of underneath some of the transitions in this episode. It's very cinematic.
Yeah, the music is in Star Trek is really often very well done, and it's not very well mentioned either.
Yeah, I was watching Best of Both Worlds with Savdra, and the music was hitting me. But thank you for drawing attention to the music in this episode. That's cool too.
I imagine that in the real world, O'Brien's going to have some serious trust issues with Starfleet because he just thinks, for the 20 years, he just thinks they abandoned him.
Yeah, and if you ever go to prison, though, don't kick over anybody else's sand drawing.
Yeah, the last thing you want is to make enemies.
Yeah.
In
Should we make a
confined
list
place
of,
where you don't have anybody
prison
else
tips?
to deal with?
Yeah, should we make a list of prison tips like we did love tips last week?
Prison tips: don't pick a fight with someone you're locked in a cell with for your entire life.
You know, this reminds me of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. And the movie
I was
showed
just
this
gonna say that.
in the same thing. We think so alike. Who said that? P Felon?
Yeah, that's P. Felon. That's me. Yeah, no,
Thank you.
definitely, man. It definitely has a classic literature. I loved.
So it's the
if it was
priest.
you or whoever mentioned Les Mis at one
Yeah.
point, like yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I never read the play, the book Les Miserables, but I've just watched so many movies of it that I just know every telling of the tale.
Yeah, and it's been remade so many times. Even if you've never seen it in its name, you've seen some version of it on your favorite show or something.
Yeah. But so in the Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas, he's sent to the worst prison in France for a crime that he's not guilty of, and then the priest is the one who helps him become from every character goes from being like weak to a hero. So he starts out weak because he's just in love with a girl and he's framed by his best friend. And by the end of it, the priest gives him the treasure map to find the treasure on the island.
He gets the treasure.
He becomes filthy rich and he gets the girl and he gets back his best friend who betrayed him by marrying his girl after he went to prison. So your fellow prisoner is your savior.
Yeah, be nice. They may have a treasure map.
Yeah.
Just want to point out I've served a lot of customers like that.
You've
very
what,
aggressive.
You've been assaulted on a regular.
No patience, It's like, where's my food?
Where do you work that they sell Synthale?
Less Synthale, more Big Macs.
So this is a pretty major issue for O'Brien here. He's now hallucinating his dead friend in real life. DB, would you care to elaborate?
Post-traumatic. I think he left.
Yeah, I don't see
Did we
DB.
lose DB? We lost DB.
So this just reminds me a lot of American Werewolf in London, where his friend dies early on, and then he kind of sees him as a specter deteriorating throughout the rest of the movie.
Poor O'Brien.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, I'm
Poor
just really
O'Brien. But he must suffer.
grateful about my life right now.
He must suffer
If
because
you had a
he's a relatable
show,
character.
you had a show that just followed Chief O'Brien during his time on the Enterprise and then on DS9. Would you just call it Poor O'Brien?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
Look,
have all seen
look,
the O'Brien comic
he-
strip, haven't you?
He's been a prisoner of war twice. Sorry to cut you off. So I think like John McCain has nothing on him.
McCain's dead, so he's got that. But
True.
yeah. But no, you're right. Whoever said there's that. Totally forgot that O'Brien comic strip where it's just him at work, like people not respecting him.
You know, this also kind of reminds me of Worf on the Enterprise.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. That's a funny one.
But wait, he doesn't get a break. He just goes back to work.
He just goes back to work.
No. Just goes down no, Brian.
Imagine he would
Last,
have been given a choice.
sorry, last time he talked to Bashir, he said that it had been at least 10 days that he hadn't been going to his therapist. So I'm assuming every transition's like almost a week time skip for him.
Yeah, good observation.
Did that little what were you gonna say, O'Brien? What were you gonna call him? He's
He was going to
insulting
be
his
very,
best
very
friend.
space racist.
Oh yeah, it'd been 10 days
Yeah,
since
but-
he hadn't gone, and then he complained that when he does go, he's just talking about stories. So it's probably been a month or so.
Yeah, but even a month off is not enough for 20 years in captivity. Yeah.
Oh no, of course not. But like,
Just making stories up.
He's had to relearn over the last month, I guess, if that's it. All of the engineering that he's forgotten in that time. He's taken lessons from Nunez.
I'm not entirely sure that he is back at work because Starfleet wants him back at work. I think he wants to be back to work.
almost definitely.
He would be one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead.
One of the best things to
Nice,
regain your normality and regularity in your life is to go back to work, but there's also a certain point where that's not productive. Like he's obviously in need of counseling right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a movie called Brother. Did you want to say something, Kevin? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, no. I don't know what I was going to say. No.
So sorry. There was a movie called Brothers with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's a soldier from Afghanistan who comes back, and his wife thought he was gone, and so when he comes back from being a prisoner in Afghanistan, he finds that his brother has married his wife, and well, I mean not married, but they had an affair while he was presumed missing, and then basically it's very hard to reaccommodate back to society once they've been in captivity. He starts like breaking dishes in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, he took his smart.
Oh.
I mean, in the 70s and 80s, there were a lot of movies.
O'Brien is like an anti-Worf.
Yeah, like the Born on the 4th of July with Tom Cruise. which is a
Yeah,
book.
I think the Deer Hunter, even Rambo's kind of about that. There's a lot of kind of, because it was all in the wake of Vietnam, and there was a lot of stuff about that for a short period of time. But then, then there was a sort of, it cycled over again, post like Afghanistan, Desert Storm, too, like Jarhead and movies like that.
Motion
Yeah,
detected at the front
and the
yard.
Vietnam POWs was a pretty big issue. Like they still have the flag at every park in this city anyway. Like they have the national park flag, the American flag, and the POW flag. So
Right. Yeah, it was. I mean, because it was such a devastating war, and it was protested so heavily. Yeah, I mean, that's I had a
Right.
Vietnam vet in my family, and it was a very complicated life.
60,000 dead. It's not a pretty picture.
Bashir here, he's trying so hard to bring his friend back.
Yeah.
He loves O'Brien. He's just...
Yeah, they're bros.
It doesn't seem to be working, though.
But rule number 1 when you come back from the POW camp, reintegrate with your family first before you start going back to work.
Well, he's about to try that, I believe. To
Yeah,
marginal
but
success.
He put the cart before the horse by working the whole time.
It does kind of speak to his character, though, because O'Brien is a guy who is very prideful in his work. He is very driven. He's very technical. So,
that's a really good observation.
It may have seemed like a good idea for him to kind of settle into a work routine first before trying to talk to his wife and his kid. But
that, and he's the only person who actually knows how to get the station working.
Right,
that too.
But he does clearly love his job. Like it's his life's joy.
Yeah, and for all the crap he takes, like, he is a very good engineer. Like, let's not forget that.
Yeah. And a good husband, by the way, and a good father. Just not when he's on screen.
What's that supposed to
Yeah,
be?
he is, but not when he's like that.
He's always yelling at. Look, right now he's about to blow up at Molly. Like
I
he's
mean,
about
he
to
is,
hit
but-
a little 4-year-old girl.
John. He's just
He's
being really
about to
annoying, though.
beat
Come on.
up the 4-year-old.
Look, come on, let's be fair to O'Brien here. He's still in the middle of a traumatic experience he needs counseling for.
I mean, Molly was about to get punched.
I don't think she was gonna get punched.
No, he wouldn't do that. He was just having a good shout.
Okay.
Well, O'Brien is about to say that he almost hit Molly. He's about to confess that.
Oh,
is he?
And then this is, yeah.
I was scared. I was scared for Molly. Okay.
All these empty gasoline cans had this coming to it.
Good thing Worf isn't in this room.
All of these?
Every single one of those would have fallen on Worf.
movie now.
Yeah, that looks like the giant Tupperware from the Container Store.
Broken every bone in Worf's
like
body.
a bad 80s action schlock where they're just throwing empty boxes at each other.
Has anyone ever seen The Room with Tommy Wiseau?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
where
yet.
he destroys the
That's a baby changer. Oh, well, maybe
It's
not.
actually like at the end of Citizen Kane, where he destroys
He's
them.
a good baseball player.
It's dual purpose. It's a baby changer, and it gives your baby something to play with while they're being changed.
Well, it's got a UV setting, so it's for sanitizing. This
God,
is
those
not
buttons
the UV
really
setting.
should be labeled. The one that turns it up and turns it down, they're just blank buttons. They should really have labels.
Yeah, they should.
Interesting that it
So dark.
powers up from the left to the right to the left.
You don't have to put the phaser to your mouth, like you could, or to your chin. You could just press.
Yeah, you could.
It's more
you
for
could
the
give a little
audience,
spit
I think.
It looks more
Yeah, they got to make it
that way.
really, really clear what his intent is here.
Okay.
Do you think he's kneeling on the floor?
Oh,
I think he's sitting on a crate.
Sitting on a container, yeah.
He's going to
just
scatter
bun
his
racks, it's just
molecules
bun racks
all
and
over the
Tupperware.
cargo bay.
Yeah, that's why he knocked him down to make a seat.
See, the worst part is if he had walked into the cargo bay like 10 seconds later, there'd just be like a pink mist in the air.
Would the phaser get destroyed here as well?
It would just fall.
through with it. I don't know.
I mean, we've seen phasers.
Yeah, like
Phasers in season 1 of TNG just kind of froze the person and then deleted their frame from the inside out. But others, it just kind of lights up a certain portion. I'm not sure there's as much consistency as we'd hoped.
Are we asking if he would like end up putting a hole in the ship by doing this?
I'm wondering here if his whole body would disintegrate like every other time, or if there would just be like a hole through him.
Okay. Yeah, like I assumed it would just rip through him and probably through the wall. But
I mean, I assume like the walls are made of, some space adamantium or something, basic phaser fire. But like him.
I keep in mind, this phaser is on absolute maximum setting.
The only other time I've seen it happen, they freeze frame and then a red effect goes from the point of impact out to the, I think they did that in Wrath of Khan as well.
Yeah. And then they're just not there anymore.
Yep. So there's like a kill setting that vaporizes normal aliens, but also some aliens can withstand it. Like Joe Brill, he just gets a big hole right through his middle.
But if you remember the
Okay.
TNG episode Frame of Mind where where Riker's in a mental institution, near the end of it, he's like, see, this phaser's on maximum setting. It'll blow up this entire room and blow out that wall and all that. It's like,
I think he
Got a bluff though.
I think he specifically says there it would be a wide beam.
He hit the
So,
third
like,
button.
you
Yeah,
change-
he's got that third button.
Even though there's only 2 controls on a phaser, you can apparently change the width of the beam as well somehow.
no, there's 3. There's 3 buttons.
And it's and he might have just been bluffing too. I mean, there's
the
that's
third
very
button
possible.
is the trigger.
Oh,
So
God,
maybe
you're right.
chat.
Maybe
and
it's
anyone
double
watching
press.
At any point in the future, sorry. The number to the suicide hotline is 1-800-273-8255. 800-273-8255. Please take care of yourself.
That's an important message.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you,
Good
Fiddle.
man.
What was I talking about?
Phasers.
Phaser settings.
Phasers. Oh, right. Maybe
Wide
because
setting.
there's only a third button, you have to be able to change it. Maybe it's like press once to shoot, press twice to toggle. You have to be very careful.
His hair.
Maybe the phaser also processes what the beam is hitting as well and changes the characteristics when that happens.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the phaser's telepathic and knows your intention.
You know who Cole Meany looks like here? He looks like, oh god,
He looks like
Looks
Dumbledore's
like he needs
brother.
a shave.
Bit like Karl
the
Marx.
Actually,
guy from Boondock Saints, which he's also in. Billy Connolly. That's who he looks like.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
And let me bring up the picture of Dumbledore's brother here.
I've never seen any of the Harry Potter stuff, so it might even be the same guy. I'm not sure.
Where did I put OBS?
see, if we were watching
There it is.
Doctor Who, the chances
There it
of
is.
that statement being true are.
There's his brother. Just the long white hair, the long white beard. Much more well groomed, of course. This man has a brush. O'Brien does not.
Find one
I-
of Billy Connolly. I think it's pretty close.
I really think that he looks a lot like Karl Marx. So whoever said that, that's dead on.
Okay. Yes.
Wrong answer, HR.
Sand. You're not allowed to use sand. You didn't even have it in your pocket. But then he is wearing a Starfleet uniform, so that might be difficult with the pockets.
No, he didn't declare it either. You have to declare pocket sand before you pocket sand.
Gotcha.
Just to add insult to injury, because it hits them, and they're like, "He told me what he was doing."
And you have to say cha-cha.
Cha-cha!
I suppose that's why they announce their moves in anime, so that for that extra embarrassment.
I'm so confident I'm going to hit you with this ridiculous attack. I'm going to take the time to explain exactly how I learned the attack.
He doesn't. Oh.
Passed down on generations.
No more HR. I was going to say he's going to live on as a hallucination, but he's already a hallucination.
Sorry, didn't know I was on mute. On mute. I know we may be moving on now, but me and Second Fiddle were chatting, and he says, "Let me not say this on air. This is about the phasers," but he said, "Let me not say this on air. If you point a gun to your mouth, you will likely survive. O'Brien has the right idea. It's tough to it's through the bottom of your chin, neck, so the bullet can actually blast through your brain,
Well,
brain matter."
I'm just thinking of that scene from Hot Fuzz near the end, where they're fighting the model village and the evil guy falls over onto the church steeple and impales him through the chin. It's just, this really hurts.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
think there's a reason he didn't want to read it on
Yeah.
stream. It's kind of graphic and dark, and maybe we should just leave that unsaid for the moment.
And I was thinking too when I was seeing O'Brien had this phaser to his chin. Even think it would be on maybe kill, I don't know. But I said to him, as long as it's not he can shoot himself as long well, he can't kill himself as long as he's not shooting in the kill setting, and he says it has to be on stun.
He was, well, just a reminder for everyone, real guns cannot be set to stun.
Yeah,
I'd
love to move on from this topic. No offense.
Yeah,
a little
it's
uncomfortable.
just wanted to share what we talked about. And I said, yeah.
So Bashir here, he's doing his very best to pull O'Brien off the ledge.
He may have
'Cause
also
he's a
just
good
kind of
friend.
explained why his experience was so particularly bad.
Oh, they're talking about it on there.
I mean, he's a good friend. He's taking his friend's issues like very, very seriously, which it's tough to do because it's difficult.
He's just being a good. He's just being a good friend. Is what he's doing.
Yeah, it's draining to see someone so emotionally.
That's what good friends do.
defeated.
Has he been? Jesus, he's been holding that phaser for like 6 minutes.
Yeah, this whole time. I mean,
It's just been all flashbacks.
Dark. I completely forgot about this episode.
HR is leaving. That means O'Brien is completely cured. He's fine.
Yep. Now he's.
We
gonna
never have
be
to bring it up
work
again.
tomorrow. Yep.
Yep.
She's doing better there than Counselor
That's
Troy
not
did in
the brain
7
work
seasons of TNG.
Take all these drugs and you're fine.
A treatment, not a cure.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how this is basically forgotten for the duration of the series, and you know that's the nature of episodic television of this genre type. I mean, this was they called like prestige television, which was like kicked off by The Sopranos and Mad Men and shows like that, where they were, you know, just big, huge awardsy cinematic, you know, star powered vehicles, and this is just more genre syndication stuff, but. Yeah, it's the nature of the beast that they had to move on from this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at this time, this style of episodic content was the norm.
We can meme it all we want, but you know it is a nature of what it was like back then.
I would say this is more memeable.
Yeah, and they are able to carry storylines over multiple arcs, but that's very difficult to do, like on a specific character basis. Too much.
Well, a modern show on Discovery, someone goes through a traumatic event, namely Hugh Colbert, and no, that's pretty much the whole season. Just dealing with.
Yeah, I think
really
Discovery's handling. I'm not the biggest Discovery fan, but I think their handling of multiple storylines is pretty masterful, and it's because they have a lot of experienced film people.
So in the DS9 documentary, Ira Bear also talks about how the network was pressuring them to do fewer arcs because the arcs were actually like the lowest rated episodes.
But they're so good.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think the best episodes of Enterprise are the huge sweeping season long, you know, arc episodes, really. Which, you know, I think at that point they knew they weren't going to continue the show, so they just went for broke, and it worked out.
Season 4 was so good.
Ones with Strand.
That was, I mean, it was the nature of the way you consumed the media back then, though. Like, it would be, you would tune in for an episode and then not watch it for a couple of weeks. Whereas now it's much
yeah,
easier.
you're right. This is pre binge culture, which is a hugely different thing. That is an excellent point. Yeah.
Right. So 1 minute to Shattered Mirror, an episode I know basically nothing about other than Cisco's dead wife is in it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and DS9 kind of found a renaissance in streaming because you can watch literally the whole thing in one setting. So, not the whole thing, the arcs in one sitting.
Yes.
So like you can stay with them,
particularly among
easily.
academics, which is interesting. Yeah.
DS9 was actually trending on Netflix last week.
DS9 has gotten a lot of attention because of being on Netflix, like huge resurgence.
It's one of the best ones. Great storylines.
Yeah, nobody knew that before Netflix, though, apparently. Or very few people.
I mean, it's been on Netflix before. That's how I originally watched it.
Yeah.
My dad maybe likes it just because of the story, right? My dad likes it.
All right,
I
10
think it's a lot
seconds to
harder to
Shattered
get-
Mirror. Everyone be queued up. Everyone press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I think the barrier to entry to DS9 is just a bit higher. And that's why most people didn't watch it before.
Oh, look at that shirt.
You think that's interesting?
Yeah,
I like
the
it.
civilians love their two-tone things.
Yeah.
Like half a Cosby sweater.
Yeah.
It looks
But
like
3 different Cosby sweaters.
a good rule of thumb: do not introduce your son to a lookalike of his late mother.
To go off camera.
That's definitely going to be confusing, but I mean, he's like 18 or 19 at this point, isn't he?
I think he was, 14 at the beginning of
He
the
was 14 at the
series,
start,
yeah.
so he'd be 17 or 18 now.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody here?
Yeah.
No sand
He doesn't
peas.
have any sand peas.
Is this the
Jennifer
episode where they
Sisko-
build the Defiant 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does Boogaloo mean?
Like
I thought it was a dance.
dance party,
Like
Okay.
Boogie.
boogie.
Okay, I thought it was just a bunch of like-minded political supporters getting together.
No, they co-opted the word.
That's
Don't worry
based
about
on
that.
the movie title. Yeah.
Dude's big. I think
This
Dude's big.
topic might actually be dangerous for YouTube.
What?
Oh yeah, we'll leave it alone.
Have people appropriated the word boogaloo? Because I just think,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
think
Yeah,
dance.
Google it and don't read it out loud.
We had
Yeah.
Palooza. We had like what was it?
Wesley Palooza.
Lollapalooza?
Yeah, no, but Oompa Palooza, right?
Alapalooza.
Well, Boogaloo is Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then there's a Canon Films documentary with the word Electric Boogaloo in it. That's where I think of it from. I don't even know what else it means.
I think they were all referencing like the same thing though, right?
Could
Yeah,
people
but I
stop
just-
stealing our words?
I learned
Come
that
on.
word a year ago, and it means like when all
Yeah,
Trump supporters
yeah.
get together and they have a party.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's
Is a
not
loosely
us.
organized far-right anti-government extremist political movement in the United States, many of whom have been condemned for being terrorists. The movement has been described as a militia. Boogaloo adherents say they're preparing for a second American Civil War.
So you were not trying to bring that up when you said that, Ryan.
No,
No.
I'm just talking about Defiant 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's a different thing.
Yeah, I knew Boogaloo.
What's
only
the
from
Defiant's original name? The next Defiant's
USS
original
Ben
name for-
Sisko's pimp hand.
No, it was the NX.
I mean the one that they built the second
thought
time and then rename it to Defiant.
Oh,
I thought it was from Al Capone. Okay, I was thinking about Valiant.
Yeah, that was the sister ship.
Yeah, there was the Sao Paulo, but we're not at the Sao Paulo yet.
Yeah,
I think we're on that like the second to last episode.
Hang on, the sister ship to the Defiant is the Reliant. Did I hear that right?
No,
It's the Valiant.
Sao Paulo.
The Valiant.
It's the Sao Paulo.
Okay, I was gonna say
The
'cause
Valiant.
The
those two
original
would
is
kind of
Sao
be.
Paulo. The original is Sao Paulo. The sister ship is the Valiant.
Thank you. Oh, okay. I thought the original was the Defiant because it's NX, and it's also
No,
the Defiant class
Defiant is the
starship.
original. It's a Defiant.
Yeah.
It's
a
Defiant, then it gets destroyed and replaced with the Sao Paulo, which is renamed Defiant.
Oh, I
And there's the
forgot.
sister ship, the Valiant.
I was just hoping to appreciate some irony in the sister ship of the Reliant being the Defiant.
Yeah.
But I misheard, so I'm sad.
Sorry.
The Valiant.
Yes, the Reliant was the Miranda class ship in Star Trek
Yes.
2. Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Just
Wrath
don't
of
let people
Boogaloo.
steal your words. Just don't let them steal the word.
We are always improving our vocabulary here on Ryan's Edits Star Trek.
They even stole a song out of Aladdin. It's some bullshit.
What?
Which song did they steal?
The song "Proud of Your Boy," which is if you see the show on Broadway, it was originally supposed to have been part of the movie. It got cut, but it's on Broadway. And they stole. Proud Boys took that name because they they hated the message of the song, but they liked it.
That's
okay.
Funny. But thank you for the song reference. That's really cool.
So I love the song. I just hate the fact that
Whoa,
a
what?
bunch of
I'm not Jurassic Park.
What do you mean? Whoa, are you talking about Cisco's dead wife? Don't worry about it. She's back.
Well, okay, but it's like he just pulled her out of the wormhole, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
like how
I don't
did
know.
she?
I'm
How
not
did she get
totally clear
here?
on how she got here, but she's here.
I
I
guess
kind of
they
care about.
joined out together.
I care a little bit about how she got here.
I kind of don't know how to put this, but like the interactions between Jake and his mirror universe mom are very
Oedipal?
strange in this episode.
Oedipal.
Yes, there is definitely an Oedipal thing going on, and it's I remember watching this episode fairly recently, like within the last year, and just being really focused on that for some reason. It's very
Okay, that's
palpable.
a silly
and
question.
very
So
uncomfortable.
we've got the word Oedipal. Would the opposite of Oedipal be electral or electric?
Electrolyte.
What?
Oedipal comes from Oedipus, who was a Greek mythology figure.
I don't
I'm
understand the electric connection.
I'm making an electric joke. Electra,
Electric comes from Electra, who was also a Greek myth.
who did the same thing to the opposite
okay,
parent.
I thought it came from electron, which is a physical.
Your jokes are too
subatomic
highbrow for us.
Apparently, this was a 5-head joke. I'm sorry.
We only needed to contact 5 academic professors to solve your joke, so it's fine.
I say electro.
I will
People
step
who
back
understand
down
both.
to-
Honestly, I thought you said edible, and I was really confused.
Yeah, for a second I did
Yeah,
too.
that would have been.
Speaking of which, mine is kicked in. Whoa!
Oh, the Oedipus myth is really interesting, but not only because of what Freud does with it. But anyway, I didn't think it was Oedipal. By the way, like, because the thing is, though, he knows she's an alternate, and he says, like, "Did you tell her?" And Cisco says, "What?" He said that I wanted to meet her. So he's not shocked. Like, he knows she exists, and he wants to meet the alternate thing. I mean, besides the awkwardness of the circumstance, I think he dealt with it pretty well.
I mean, he is also rubbing her hands and saying they're soft like my mother's were, which is a weird
Yeah,
thing to tell someone.
I never thought I'd hold these hands
he's-
again.
It's at a very
Stepmom.
hormonal age. It's it's very
Yo, I'd be balling.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge decision to make. Do you or do you not meet this person and
Right.
become acquaintances, etc.? That's a really tough decision to make, and either
Right,
way,
'cause
it's
it's
not
just
going to
so-
be easy.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking because it's not the real thing.
I mean, it's like worse than quote worse unquote than
Yeah.
Jake's mom having a very twin mirror sister,
Mm-hmm.
a mirror twin sister. Mirror twin, by the way, is a real life thing.
Mm.
The
Is
mirror
that the
universe,
lookalike
or
Identical twin.
It's closer than identical twin, I believe.
Oh,
How can
it's
they
when
be
the
closer than
zygote is the
identical?
exact. Because what happens is the fertilized egg, because even identical twins have two different. I don't know.
Okay.
I knew where you were going with that. But I
Yeah.
can't complete it either. It
I'm
has to
going
do
somewhere
with
with it.
how things start in the very early stages of development.
Thank you.
So
There are
are
some
mirror
very-
twins genetically identical?
Okay, identical twins do have this. I think, because identical, do they have the same sperm? Because they would have to. But like
Yeah,
you said,
it's
in the
the
very
egg,
original.
it's the egg splitting off.
excuse me, it's not an
Yeah.
egg, it's Fortress Ovum, as we learned in Voyager.
Okay.
Got us there.
Jesus Christ. Oh.
Yo, did
Uh,
Cisco
Sorry,
just
you
not
learn
face
stuff.
forward?
By the way,
Well, that worked. out.
O'Brien's looking quite stylish here.
what did they think was gonna happen with the mirror universe? Like, they've never had a positive encounter with the alternate universe, so
They're
there's
just
no
trying to
reason
get his
for him
son
to be.
back.
There's no reason for him to be happy like that. Jake's mom showed up.
He's
Yeah,
just,
he would know that something bad was going down.
I mean, he did have a relatively positive interaction with fake Jennifer last time. Convinced her to turn over to the rebel side.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Oh yeah, the human rebellion.
Right, and the rebellion is successful in this episode, which means like the whole mirror universe has been turned upside down yet again.
Or
There is
shattered.
no, Kira's no longer superintendent.
But she is still horny.
I mean, she likes the pain.
It's her entire character in the Mirror Universe.
Let me
She's having fun.
let me bring up something I
Yes,
put in
she
the
is.
general chat on Discord. It's going to be quite relevant to this episode.
Oh wait.
If I can find it. Where did I put it? There it is. Open link. Yes, I would.
I would
like
never go to
open it.
the Mirror Universe, and I would never want to meet myself because.
So yeah, I think we do get the intended in this episode, but all the episodes she's in, she is kind of in a catsuit.
Yeah, she's wearing the same shiny Romulan stuff.
A certain kind of catsuit.
That's quite a photo.
Thanks.
Wait, where?
On the stream.
Oh, straight.
Because Rick Berman
Oh,
keeps
wow.
putting the female characters in catsuits. And I don't see the problem with it. I mean, it's kind of weird that that's happening on the ship, but I mean, it's fine.
Guinan doesn't seem to have an issue with it.
Yeah, Guinan's fine.
Yeah, we saw.
Picard's trying to ignore it, but it also looks like Picard needs to patch up the Matrix jack on the back of his skull.
So that's what I spent my yesterday doing. Is this a Prime Directive violation? He's basically fighting a war for someone.
Does the Prime Directive apply to the other universe?
I think
don't
fighting
know.
a war for someone that isn't your organization is a slightly more important issue.
Non-interference is like a corollary of the Prime Directive.
So is this Bashir genetically altered as well, or do we not come back to this universe after that detail is made canon?
I'm so glad you said that because what I was realizing was basically, if let's just put it this way, okay? If anyone's parents have sex like a few minutes later than they normally would, you would not have been born. It would have been a different sperm cell and it would have been the same egg cell. So technically, no one in the Mirror Universe should exist because everyone's born at different times because time works out differently.
Except.
Yeah, that's an issue in the first Terminator movie, in my opinion.
What this means that the only actual similarity between the Prime and the Mirror Universe is that everyone has sex at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
That's
That makes
it.
everyone the same thing.
Exactly.
Even things
And
like
more
it-
than that,
That would
the
have to be the one
moment of-
constant, right? Everything else is
yeah.
different.
moment
That's the
of,
one
thing is-
constant.
even things like
evolution
that.
has to be at the exact same time.
What a joyous thing to bind the universes together.
And the only time it didn't happen was Cisco and Cisco's wife in the Mirror Universe, and so there's no Jake.
Wow.
But there is a Vic Fontaine.
Vic Fontaine is the best Mirror Universe character.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
But
When
things,
do we
even
get
things
Vic?
like
Is he season 5?
He's the last Mirror episode. I just remember, or no, it's like Ezri's there too. It's an Ezri
No.
episode. It's way later.
Real Vic. When is real Vic introduced? Actually, I think that might be his way when Odo and Kira start dating.
So is that why we don't have any TNG alternate episodes? None of them were born?
No, they just didn't get close enough to an anomaly to make it on camera.
Well, we never even hear about an alternate Picard or an alternate Data.
We do get there is a
The
pretty
real-
extensive
the real reason
comment
is
line.
money, but
I'm just speculating.
Wait, is Jake trying to play matchmaker with Cisco and his dead wife?
Yes.
Cisco has a girlfriend. He's saying Cassidy.
Which he also introduced him to, didn't he?
He
Yeah.
wants a mom, guys. If your mom died at Wolf 359, you would want one too.
He doesn't want a mom. He wants this mom.
Yeah, he's already getting a new mom in Cassidy.
Would this or
Yeah.
would this not be a stepmom?
Oh dear.
I'm just saying.
I think she'd be a stepmom.
This is an alternate stepmom.
I guess genetically she's identical to real Jennifer.
Yeah.
yeah, which raises a whole.
Alright.
Can we talk about suicide instead? I don't know.
Oh wait.
They're not
wait,
blood related.
Wait.
They're blood similar.
Wait. Discovery Season 3 established that Mirror Universe people are not actually genetically identical. They have a genetic defect that makes the mirror universe?
It's
Oh
not
yeah,
a
the
defect.
chimeric thing.
It's a subatomic signature, quantum signature that's different, right?
That too. I think it's a little of both.
The lights on
So
the
you're
Vulcan ship
saying-
were too bright, so Cochrane killed them.
Here's
By the way,
another.
go ahead.
Here's another question. Here, does Mirror Universe Jennifer really want to have a mother-son relationship with original
some
universe
random kid?
Jake? With
Realistically,
original universe Jake. Maybe that's something that she wants
I don't
too.
think she knows what she wants, to be honest.
She's a mirror universe
You know, roll
Terran.
tide.
She wants to rule a universe.
I don't think anyone in this episode knows what they want.
Garrick knows what he
Everyone's
wants.
all very confused.
Derek is very much getting what he wants.
Yeah, at 100% right now.
By the way, the number to the suicide hotline is 1-800-273-25.
Thanks for that.
He just said there isn't anything that he would rather do. He is happy to be here.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing.
I
because
guess
this
you
is
could
like-
read it like that.
This is very shocking to see as a fan. But the thing is, though, this is so well acted. You see the brilliance of the actors, how much they're having fun, how well it's acted. Again, I know I said that already, but it's because this could literally be a show, just the Worf and Garrick show.
Yeah.
Might be.
It would just be the
Pirate.
Garrick show featuring Worf. Be honest.
This is
Regent Worf.
our first look at Mirror Wharf, right?
I love
Yeah,
Regent Worf.
Regent Worf. Call him by his proper title, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Regent Wharf.
Otherwise, do you see what a powerful man he is? He has a Cardassian on chains.
I know. They sent somebody after me. I got to watch out.
Yeah.
Look at his big fancy coat. He's so important.
So the
I
Klingons
love
the
Garrick.
dominant power in this time.
Let's see.
What
so
are you
what's
doing?
the timeline here?
What are you doing, Regent? Klingons do not laugh.
Regents
It really is the mirror universe.
Yeah, they do.
He's not laughing. He's gloating. He's gloating.
I love Garrick's answer over here when Worf says he's spoken like a true Klingon. He says, "I'm trying."
Garrick is going to Garrick in any universe. Come on.
Yeah.
This is the
Oh, we
most
can see the
confident.
bridge here.
Oh, look at that. This is the most
Missing some
confident
paneling.
incarnation of Worf.
He never gets denied here, huh?
No, not once.
Always fire the photon torpedoes.
Is the panel about to explode? No explosion. Wow. Oh, now we're paying off that scene from the last mirror.
She looked.
I mean, she doesn't seem that bothered. That was a pretty light
He's-
slap. Okay, now she seems
Yeah,
bothered.
that was. Oh, she looks
Yeah,
good in
never
that hairstyle.
Yeah, there's the intendant. There's fake
It
Kira.
looks pretty good under any circumstance.
I think it's called the Evo Kara. I can never get this straight.
So they're dating at this point. So I just
Yeah.
wonder what their relationship was like when he was zapping her.
To clarify, that's the actors, not the characters. This isn't some weird betrayal thing going on.
Although she would be into that.
No, what I'm saying is that this might have been the start of their relationship. She liked being. Never mind. Let me just.
Can we not dig into that?
Give me the shovel.
I mean, they're definitely having fun shooting this scene.
Yeah, their chemistry is amazing here.
I think they're together by this point.
Yeah, no, but she says that if you want to teach me a lesson, you're gonna have to turn on that setting a little bit higher.
Oh yeah, no, she wants it.
Let's not extrapolate on that to their relationship.
Yeah, you're right. We don't need to extrapolate. She'll say it.
Anybody's free to
Love
write.
how her headband thing just looks like crinkled up aluminum foil.
It
looks real uncomfortable.
It is.
Like they made it in 5 minutes grabbing a sheet of aluminum foil from craft services.
I find
No,
it
but
interesting
Kira's
that she is actually wearing the earring. I would have thought they would have been less into the prophets in the mirror universe.
I'm sure she believes that the prophets blessed their overthrow of the Terran Empire and thanks them very heavily.
That's the point. Does the wormhole exist in the mirror universe?
We didn't discover it.
Is there a mirror Q? Are there mirror prophets? Is there a mirror?
Yeah,
What are
what's
the
the
rules?
state of that religion then?
What?
Like, if there's no.
Oh, that's an interesting point. They had the myth about the orbs, right? So they probably had orbs, but no wormhole.
Yeah, there was
Maybe-
there's something there, but it would have gone a very different direction without the discovery of the wormhole for sure.
Maybe
think-
the Bajoran religion is more like Crusades era Christianity.
Yeah,
Just go and purge all the heretics.
Sure.
In the name
I'm
of the
getting
Father, and the
strong
Son,
Jabba Leia vibes here.
and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I'm surprised how sort of S&M this is right now.
Well,
Oh,
it
the
is
whole
Garrett.
episode is that. I mean, even with Kira and the, I mean, but
I blocked all this out.
This is just what the DS9 mirror episodes are. That they're all like this.
big time. But
Yeah, they're very sexually charged for sure.
That's the mirror unit. Honestly,
mean,
that is the whole mirror
y-
universe.
I mean, Kira has a femdom relationship to Cisco in that first episode. But
Have you ever seen Mirror Picard? He's ripped.
What? Where?
I'll bring it up on
Hang on.
stream. I'll bring up Mirror
Please,
Picard.
please do.
There's what? Okay.
He's jacked.
There's
jacked.
no
He's
episode with
jacked
Mirror
and
Picard,
sleepless.
but there's
Was
sure
this in a
comics
comic
with Mirror
book or
Picard.
something? Yeah.
Oh, what I was gonna say about that scene with Bashir torturing Kira, I do like that scene because it shows how strong she is. She's always been the strongest woman, probably on the whole series.
Everyone,
And
please
so-
look at stream.
Oh, that's
Mirror Data,
it's like-
Mirror Picard, and Mirror Troy.
He
the
looks
jump.
like
Mirror Kara is really, really like very strong, powerful, and very like sexually, motivated too, which is like I don't know, very progressive kind of character.
True.
he reminds me of either Sam the Snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with that beard, or Don Cherry, the hockey commentator.
Okay.
What do we think?
Yeah, Mirror Picard works out.
What do we think Mirror Ducat would have been like? Because he's never in this.
Probably very
Probably blown up
friendly,
by the
very nice
Bajorans.
guy, very humble.
Yeah, he would have been
Yeah.
killed long ago.
He would have been the
Garrett already
savior
murdered
of
him.
Bajor.
Yeah, he'd have been a freedom fighter.
But if Cardassians are under the boot of the Klingons, he's probably like, cleaning the deck on some Klingon.
Yeah,
garbage
he
ship.
might be in prison somewhere.
Yeah. I mean,
Flying a
he
garbage
gets what he
shell.
deserves, I guess.
Ducat and Garrick were always pretty explicit enemies, so I imagine Garrick already killed him in this universe.
Actually,
Good
yeah.
observation.
Of course, Garrick is still around because he's a survivor. He always finds a way to get through things
True.
somehow.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's true. It's true. Klingons could take over the space station. He'd be fine.
He would make 700 alliances and do whatever he had to do.
So,
Make 700
So-
alliances and betray 699 of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's whatever gets you through, man. It's fine.
Yeah, the game is survival.
Is it
So in
really
Mirror
betrayal if
Universe-
everyone expects it?
so the trope is that the mirror universe has everybody's evil twin, right?
Yeah.
And so one of my cats just jumped up here on my lap, and I'm petting him, and it suddenly, feel like Dr. Claw or something in Inspector Gadget. And I thought, sitting in my chair, then I thought, wait a minute, whenever you got an evil villain, they always have a cat for a pet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cats are
Are
typically
you now
villainous.
questioning whether you're your evil self?
Well, yeah. What if you're the
Oh my
evil?
god, are we the mirror universe?
Yeah. So in the
It sure
alternate
feels like
universe, Ryan's edits started watching Voyager
It's
first.
like Lex.
No, Ryan's edit is a Mandalorian watch along.
Mm.
Oh god.
It's a Star Wars Christmas special one.
And
So
they're
we end-
celebrating Maria Cardano's third spin-off.
So we ended this live stream 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
One day we'll
My
watch
life
the
would have a
Star
lot more
Wars
time.
Christmas special. One day.
I mean, I'd be down for that. We can do the Lego one.
This is a Star Trek live stream, so you would have to open up another channel, Ryan.
It's my stream. I
It's
can
great to
do whatever I
talk over.
bloody want
Oh,
on it.
Ryan's edits. No matter
It's great
what.
to talk over because there are long stretches of the Star Wars holiday special that are just Wookiees talking with no
This
subtitles.
is true. It'd be gold, man.
The first 20 minutes
Someone
is
thought
just
that
not-
was a good idea.
I see Mirror Ryan's coming out. Seem like it's my stream. I can do whatever I want.
Does me or Ryan have a goatee?
On the Mirror
So-
channel, you don't get banned if you make dumb comments. You get killed.
Did anyone else
Oh.
catch what he just implied to Bashir?
What did he imply to Bashir?
What am I supposed to do? I have a couple of suggestions of what you ought to do with it.
Shove them up your ass.
Did you just swear on my Star Trek stream?
Oh my!
Yes.
Imply
Okay.
imply
Just
a
checking.
vulgar phrase.
Vulgarity.
Or you could just say the phrase.
We're in the mirror universe, so it's okay.
For whatever, but Bashir's outfit and hairdo here reminds me so much of Disney's Aladdin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
he has a Prince
kinda.
of Persia thing going. Yeah.
Also,
Oh.
I was going to say also Alexander Siddig can't do like evil. I'm sorry, he can't.
True.
Excuse me.
I mean,
What
yeah,
do you mean
you're right.
Alexander Siddiq?
Oh, here we go.
Who's that guy? Do you mean Siddiq Al Tahil Al Fadil Abdurrahman Mohammed Ahmed Abdul Karim Al Mahdi?
He stuttered. He stuttered.
Siddiq Al Tahil Al Fadil Abdurrahman Mohammed Ahmed Abdul Karim Al Mahdi.
Alexander
Too late. The
Siddig
god bleeds.
was in
I'm
Prince
not
of
gonna
Persia,
lie.
by the way.
I'm gonna lie. I
Wait,
tuned
he
in.
wasn't for Prince of Persia the movie?
Yeah, he was the good guy prince, and then the yeah. He was
He
a
was
prince in that
also
movie.
Wheelchair King.
Who was Jake?
in,
Wasn't
Game
Jake
of Thrones.
Gyllenhaal in that for some reason?
Yeah, and yes, you're right. He was in Kingdom of Heaven, also. He was like
Guy gets around.
Saladin's assistant or something. But in the alternate Ryan's Edit live stream, we watch 7 hours every day, and we're forced to with Clockwork Orange things on our eyes to force them open.
No, that's way too much for me.
Yeah, but you're the
That's
one
way too
ordering
much
it.
Star Trek.
Ryan's got some
That's
power.
That's the agony chamber.
Actually, I think in the alternate universe, we actually talk about the episode. What?
Don't be ridiculous.
Madness.
In no universe would he ever talk about the episode. Never.
We might be gagged and just watch for 7 hours with our eyelids forced open.
I was gonna say about Siddig. But I don't know if anyone ever watched.
You mean
the show
Siddiq Al
Gotham.
Tahil Al Fadil Abdurrahman Mohammed Abdul Karim Al Mahdi?
That was
him.
another one.
He was Ra's al Ghul on the Gotham series.
Yep.
I might watch it
practiced
just
on that
because
a
of
lot.
that.
He works like he shows up in everything. He's in 21 Bridges.
He's a British actor.
Gross. Yeah.
We like British actors.
Yeah, it's only like
Americans
7 of them.
Americans love British actors.
They're
Ben
good.
Kingsley. So Ben Kingsley's the bad guy in Prince of Persia, and Siddiq Al Fadil is also like a minister.
Siddiq Al Fadil Al Tahil Al Fadil Abdurrahman Mohammed Ahmed
Just
Abdul
refer
Karim
to
Al
me, you
Mahdi.
shall not be
Maybe
named.
there's a reason he changed his name in the credits.
He
Okay,
stuttered 3 times. We're breaking
Sorry,
it.
what do you mean? Who changed their name? Who was it?
Alexander Siddig. Maybe there's a reason he
Wait,
changed
who-
his name
who's
in the
Alexander
credits.
Siddig?
So
Do you mean Siddiq Al Tahil Al Fadil Abdurrahman Mohammed Ahmed Abdul
Bashir.
Karim Al Mahdi?
what do you get if you acronymize that?
Well, let's find out.
I know Ryan's the Zodiac
Siddiq Al
killer.
Tahil Al Fadil Abdurrahman Mohammed
Type it in the
Ahmed
chat, please.
Al Abdul Karim Al Mahdi. Okay, so it's Setafamakem. Setafamakem.
Okay, that one.
That's much quicker, isn't it?
I mean, you could say Setafamakem, but then you don't get to say Siddiq Al Tahil Al Fadil Abdurrahman Mohammed Ahmed Abdul Karim Al Mahdi.
Ooh, you got him.
In the alternate universe, Ryan's actually racist.
I think a lot of people are going to be racist in the mirror universe. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, sexist, misogynistic.
So he was also. Wait, did Worf just stab him there or not?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
he
he
did.
stabbed him.
Yeah. Yeah, he
That
stabbed
was your
him.
most loyal dog.
So
This is the most confident Worf.
it's. That's
this the
really
Captain
weird
Worf
where
show
somebody gets.
That Michael
somebody-
Dorn was wanting.
That's really weird when somebody gets stabbed like that and they don't immediately die in a TV
Yeah.
show or movie.
And a television, yeah. Big time.
Well, it's Garrick, so.
I think it's 2 stabbings too, by the way. He didn't just get stabbed once.
Yeah, it was 2
He was in
stabbings.
he was in Clash of the Titans as Hermes.
Siddiq Al Fadil.
Mm-hmm.
Al Tahil Abdurrahman Mohammed Ahmed El Abdul Karim El Makti.
We've done it, boys.
Slipping.
At the end of the episode, spell it all out for us on the screen, and so we can see the whole name, etc. And if you're good at pronouncing it, then maybe you're good at telling us what each of the parts are, because I'm curious.
Are we watching Sub Rosa after this?
That was last
we're
week.
watching Threshold.
Threshold on
We're
one,
always watching Threshold.
Threshold on one screen, Sub Rosa on the other.
Oh yes.
I'm talking about Clockwork Orange torture.
Yeah,
too.
that's the alternate universe. Ryan's at extreme.
We are technically occupying every point of space at the same time, and we are watching Threshold in every room of space.
Except for my mirror universe where it's Monk.
I want to cross over to that universe.
No, it's Star
What point
Trek
do
all
we
the
become
time.
salamanders? How does that work?
Once every 7 years, we get a season of Babylon 5. In my alternate universe.
Oh man.
This is
Someone
the
saying
most
Siddiq
polite-
Atahil Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abu Karim Al Makti's royalty. I'm not seeing that on his Wikipedia. It says his uncle was Prime Minister of Sudan.
He looks very royal, and he did play a royal in Game of Thrones, but he just kind of sat around in that role.
I mean, you can't tell royalty by looking at him.
What do you mean? Have you seen his beard these days? It's very royal.
He looks extremely royal. I would say he
Very
looks like
dashing,
a prince.
but
David.
No, I think I saw this meme. It's like in the movies, what they show British guys like, it's always this dapper guy in a great suit looking aristocratic. And then what British guys I know in real life are like. And it's like, fuck you talking about, mate? And it's like a guy in sweatpants and sweatshirt.
Will, would you care to comment?
I feel attacked.
Sorry.
That's the difference between the lads.
It's
and
true,
not the
but I
lads.
feel it.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm going to go on mute for stereotyping British people. They're great.
Uh-oh.
Can it be a stereotype if it's true?
Yes.
All stereotypes are based in truth.
Not all... Go ahead.
Everyone's a little
No,
bit
go ahead,
racist.
Not all British people are scallies, I think that's the term.
I think you're looking for chavs, by the way. But yeah. Scally's more of an adjective. Could be a scally chav.
Now,
Yeah,
Will.
Mate.
Hello.
William.
What?
Bill.
Hello.
Will.
Don't call
Will.
me Bill. I hate Bill.
Now,
Actually,
how would you shorten the term mathematics?
Maths.
And
Okay,
how
so
about the term sports?
why do you shorten it to maths?
Because
it is a plural.
It's a plural. Yeah.
Then what is one mathematic?
There's no
that's like a really
singular for
that's
that
like a
Greek
there's
word.
no- Yeah, it's
It's
like
a Greek word.
What's the plural of sheep?
Sheep.
No, okay, no. This pisses me off to no end. This pisses me off. Okay, so you turn mathematics to maths, but then you play sport. What? I'm sorry. Is there one sport? Is that what the UK does? They only play one? Is that
I
all
would
there
say
is?
sport.
No.
I'd say
there's
sport.
there's football, baseball, basketball, other football.
Other football.
Footy's no
The
good.
sports ball.
Yeah. There's
The-
that football that the
Okay.
entire world plays, and then that weird one
Football too,
Americans
Sporty
play.
Boogaloo?
Let me let me deflate the joke. So the Greek word is mathematikoi, and so when Christ tells his disciples in the Great Commission in the Gospel of Matthew to go out to the world and make disciples among all the nations, the word for disciple is mathematikoi. So he says make mathematicians of all the nations, basically. But the thing is though, so it's discipleship or intense study of a subject. So then we turn it into mathematics. That's why there's no plural, because it's not.
Yeah, I'm thinking somewhere between make disciples out of them and make mathematicians out of them, somebody screwed up a translation.
Yeah, I would much rather have mathematicians.
Yeah, if we had a whole, they were everywhere, I think we'd be doing pretty good.
So
Well,
Will.
disciple
Will?
There
means
we go.
follower because that's where the word discipline comes from, to make sure that
Disciple
you
is-
follow something.
Disciple is Latin, mathematicoi is Greek, and the New Testament was originally written in Greek.
How would you shorten the
Oh,
word
wow.
economics?
I don't think I would.
That is economoi. Yeah,
Some
that's
well,
another Greek
some
word.
in modern
Econ.
American, maybe some people shorten it to econ. especially
Yeah,
in
my
school.
brothers, would always say, "Oh, I'm an econ major." Yeah.
Nah, don't
Would you be
forget
an econs major? What's one economic?
And that's why the maths thing is
That's a good
bullshit.
example.
I'd be an economics major.
How much for one economic?
Oh man, now I want some M&Ms, dude.
There's no
Yeah,
such
you're
thing as a
killing me.
mathematic.
M&Ms?
It is a mass noun. It's not
You're
an
right, you're right,
actual
there
proper
isn't.
plural.
But
What does M&M stand for?
I don't even know.
Marshall Mathers.
Mathematics and
Oh, it was named after the Mars and God, what's the other one?
Oh,
The
Mars.
two guys who-
Mars is the company that makes it. Mars bars.
Mars and mathematics.
I'm so confused.
Oh, it's like his business partner. I have to look it up.
We
were
still
watching
watching
the
Star Trek,
Backbay, right?
Oh, by the way, they built the Defiant and they're blowing up some evil people. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine is exploding or something. So I don't know.
There
I
was
do
an
love-
actual. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I love how the Mirror Universe episodes are just kill a Ferengi.
Oh,
Yep. Is this actually
Every
still Tarok Nor?
time they kill
Yes.
one of his family.
Nog has a great line in here though. He's like, "I love you. You killed my dad and my brother. Now I'm the owner of the bar."
Okay. Very pragmatic.
Because that's a rule of acquisition, right? Like wives serve, brothers inherit. So
Yeah.
You think the rules of
M&M
acquisition
is
are
Mars
staying
and
here?
Murray.
I mean, it does make sense that it's because of her, but why would he go and help her afterwards? He'd be like, yeah, she helped me. I don't care.
How
Yeah, why
much
would-
reinforcement did this station get? Like, didn't they almost lose the station the first time Klingon shot at them?
what, doesn't
I
this
don't know.
station have its own defenses and phaser cannons?
It
Does
does
it
in
as
the
a
real
mining
universe,
colony in
but,
the other one?
Yeah.
but this one doesn't have Starfleet to like load kit it out with a bunch of torpedoes.
Yeah, this is still just a Cardassian mining ship station. They shouldn't have
Oh,
anything.
okay, but the Cardassians don't own it or occupy it. It's occupied
anymore.
by. It's commanded by Starfleet. It's occupied by Starfleet. Maybe in partnership with Bajorans.
Well, no. So in the Prime universe, Starfleet has gone in and upgraded it, and O'Brien's put some work into it. In the Mirror universe, this is still Tarek Nor, and Tarek Nor is the dilithium refinery or something.
Oh, okay.
Or refinery.
Yeah.
And they've been under attack for probably 6 minutes of airtime now, and it's just vaguely shaking.
It didn't even look
Although
like
I
it
just
had
want to point out,
shields.
I know the FX might be a little dated looking, but man, being a teenage kid watching this episode in its original era and seeing those kind of space battles is so fucking awesome.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. I'm
Yeah,
just
man.
saying, the first couple of seasons, the same amount of firepower almost destroys the station.
I mean,
yeah,
I was
no,
just thinking
absolutely.
about. I was
I'm
thinking
just
about
saying
that
from
recently.
a visual standpoint, yeah.
I was thinking about that recently. I was like, do you remember how in Best of Both Worlds, one Borg cube was enough to destroy Earth, and also in First Contact, but in Voyager, you have that little Intrepid class starship take on entire Borg cubes. So
I
there's
insist
some
that
there's some
Q
plot
destroyed the Borg after that,
armor
and that's
going
why
on.
they're so bad.
There's some plot armor going on.
Yeah, the Borg Queen destroyed the Borg from the. Q brought individuality to the Borg, created a Borg Queen, and therefore created a single point of failure for the Borg. Q and Picard destroyed the Borg. That's why they're the way they are in Voyager.
Okay, so the Borg cubes are now just sugar cubes.
Yes.
Wait, so in a way, because the
Is that
debate
canon,
was
by the way?
implant Hugh with something that would destroy the Borg collective, and in a way they kind of did.
Yeah, I think they acknowledged that, expressly in Picard. Giving me individuality. Or no, later on we see some abandoned Borg, and they're like, "This is your fault, Picard. You gave us individuality."
Oh shoot!
Yeah, that was Descent Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the Borg and Voyager suck. I insist. It is my official headcanon. I will not. I
So
will
wait,
die
so
on myself.
on screen we're in the Prime universe, and so Klingons are attacking our Deep Space Nine.
No, this is Mirror Universe, meaning
So
this
where
is
did
Tarek
where
Nor.
did the Defiant come from? That's
So the entire episode that we didn't actually watch, but we pretended we did, was about
This
they
happened
brought
every-
Cisco over to help them finish the Defiant because they stole the plans. They stole the plans last time, but they couldn't actually build it because it had those problems the original Defiant did.
Yeah, that makes no sense because they
It's
don't have
literally
that
a plot
technology.
It's that same pan shot.
They don't have Starfleet technology to make a Defiant. ablative armor and all that.
I mean, it's
they
just
stole
raw
the designs
materials.
the last time
They
they
got the
came
plans.
to the Prime
Okay.
universe.
Okay. If you steal the design, I suppose, right?
Yeah, Smiley specifically says that last time he was there, he like peeked and stole the blueprints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like you can steal the plans for the Defiant, but there's not like presumably
There's no Starfleet to build it.
well, not only is there no Starfleet to build it, but it's like when the Chinese steal United States technology, they can steal the plans for like an F-14, but they don't have the plans to build like the jet engines. They just have the plans to build the plane. So
Yeah,
there's a
there's no
huge
factory.
difference
Have
between the
built an
two.
aircraft
Like they can stick Chinese jet engines in them, but they're significantly less advanced than U.S. jet engines. So the planes are nowhere near
Starfleet
as
blueprints are very, very detailed. They go down to the atom.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Complete trust. The only people who are going to be reading these blueprints are people who are going to need to build this thing from scratch at a replicator, obviously.
Do any of you guys
I'd like
have
to-
like the technical manuals or any of that stuff? I used to have those when I was a kid. I don't have them anymore.
I used to have those too. I'm not sure where they are. I might have gotten rid of them.
My
I have-
TNG
They're,
technical
like,
manual
very
is downstairs. I know exactly where it is.
I'd like to point out that not only in the 24th century
years since I
AD do
have.
they, not only in the 24th century AD do they not call them blueprints. We should not even call them blueprints now because nobody has used them for about 20 years.
Right.
Everything's on computer and white.
Right.
White
And yeah, back in
paper,
the day,
if
there
it's
used to
ever
be like
plotted
blue
out.
carbon paper stuff. Carbon paper too. Yeah, no one
It's
knew
just a
what blueprints anymore.
colloquialism, though. It makes sense to keep using it because everyone understands what you mean.
Why is the save icon a floppy disk?
I mean, we
Yeah.
even use the word blueprint outside of architecture. You know, like what's the blueprint for this D&D game? Or not?
It's a bit of a contextual word, though.
Mhm.
You refer to a blueprint when you're building something specific, like a vehicle or a weapon
Yeah,
or
a house.
some piece of architecture.
Yeah. But it's like this: like we call it a sunset, but the sun is not actually setting. The Earth is going around the sun.
Perspective. Yeah.
Wait, we're not the center of the universe?
The
What do you
sun
mean?
is not.
Not
setting.
even our
Of course
solar
we're the
system?
center.
We're rotating.
Of course we're the center. What are you talking about?
Garrick's alive.
Who?
Survive.
Andrew Robinson.
Yeah, he still has to meet Esri in a couple seasons, so he's fine for now.
The who is it? Kelly Clarkson song came through my mind when somebody said because of her, and like Jennifer Sisko alternate was on screen, but she burned him.
I figure we'd be having a Kelly Clarkson mention, but okay.
Make it so.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh my god.
Worf is having so much fun.
It's so foggy inside the station. Where'd all the fog come from?
Of you.
Maybe it is actual fog because it's a Cardassian station. Wait, the Cardassian Stone station. I don't know.
I think it
Kira's
was
weird.
filmed in SD. So I don't think they filmed this in film the way they filmed TNG in 36mm.
No, they did.
They did?
Yeah.
It looks
This
like
is in film.
video.
They just haven't bothered spending the money to get better
Vaseline
quality
lens.
pulls of the film.
Yeah, it's either Voyager or Enterprise was the one that moved over to all digital.
I think it's Enterprise.
I think the big issue with DS9 is all of the special effects and all the station and ship stuff would have to be completely redone because that
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
all that
done.
model.
Odo would have to be redone, and all the shapeshifting.
I mean, to be fair,
that would
they could replace Odo with a completely CG character, and it would be completely on point.
Yeah, you
Uh,
always had that uncanny valley thing
I
going.
don't. You
That
think
would be
so?
okay for him. That would be perfect for him, I would say.
Let me give you an analogy. When they originally had Jar Jar Binks, they had a guy playing it, and then like a year or two into production, George Lucas like, all right, we'll just go CGI. But he was mad at the fact that they spent like $100,000 on the guy's suit. But it was very useful for the animators because the guy who was the performer for Jar Jar, he was such an animated bouncy dancer that for the CGI character, they actually picked up the guy's moves.
I know.
God,
So
that
we're
would
talking
be-
about the reverse. We would turn Odo from real to CGI. Well, it's the same.
Ahmed Best. Well, let me bring up a picture of the Jar Jar suit because he definitely had to at least be partly CGI'd. Because, oh
yeah,
boy,
yeah.
So while we're making fun of Star Wars and stuff, Ben Sisko and Jake just went through the loss of their wife and mother a second time.
Oh.
Yeah, they're fine about it. Don't worry.
Yeah, they're okay. We don't even get to see them
Okay.
come back over to the right universe. It's just they make it. That's a lot of triangle ships. Oh my god.
So here's Ahmed Best as Jar Jar Binks. He doesn't have his big floppy ears, and I mean he's still just there, but his like arms, and he's wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Ryan, I don't know if you let autoplay continue, but you're gonna have to get the triangle ship counter ready for next week. I think
my
we
God,
have
hang on,
three in the opening
let me just-
frame.
The Muse, let me open
Please
it
don't.
up.
Spoilers.
Please don't get him worked up. Like he's gonna.
Oh
like, die
my.
of
Oh my
happiness
god.
If he sees
There's a
Season
triangle.
4, episode 20.
2
Wow.
triangles, 3 triangles,
I told you the triangle
How many
fleet
more
is
triangles
coming
do we
for
get?
us.
3
All
triangles.
right, guys. Fourth hour. Here we go.
Episode 20.
I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this.
We're not watching.
I
the
didn't
next
do my
episode.
homework for this episode.
You're not supposed to do
season
homework.
4,
It's
episode
supposed to
20.
be a
It's
natural
420.
reaction.
Oh my god.
No. Okay.
Thanks, chat.
Look, the stream's over. I'm putting on the
Aw.
jazz.
Next week's
Thank you,
gonna be
chat.
fun.
Thank you, Argos, for
Oh,
joining
yeah.
us.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, it's got triangle ships and it's a Troy episode.
Thank you, Bill Harlequin.
Okay,
for
so
joining us.
D&D people, I put a new schedule in the schedule tab. That's now been updated for Mr. Deutschland.
Danke.
And so the first group
Thank you,
will be on
Jarvis.
with Deutschland, Will, and Soma. That'll be on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Then on Friday we'll have Argos, Shell, and Jirinx, and on Saturday, Fiddle, DB, and Bill.
Thank you, Michael and P. Felon and Her Deutschland.
Hey, what did I
Chat. Participating in our lovely stream every week.
do? Oh,
You showed up, and that's enough.
Here, always fun.
And thank you, Shilvaku and
Yes,
Will.
participation award.
What is for Star Trek Next Generation
You're
next
welcome.
week, Ryan?
What is what?
The 3 episodes for next week for TNG.
It was
I don't
fun.
bloody know. You think I do my research for this show? Let me look it up.
Just
It'll
open up
look
Netflix and
more
see what's
homework
next in the
than,
queue.
Ryan.
You're the captain
Next
of
week,
the ship, Ryan.
next week TNG is going to be the Nth Degree with
Oh yes.
Hey,
with Barkley
Michael.
becoming really smart. Cupid, which we all know what it is.
I am the smartest human
Yeah.
being who's ever existed.
Yeah. And the Drumhead, which is another courtroom episode.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Oh, that is a banger.
I'm gonna have to try to make that. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good couple hours.
Oh,
It's
and I'm
good.
working
And then
for
Deep Space Nine, what's up for next Sunday?
Deep Space Nine. You can't tell me what to do. It's gonna be the Muse, which is
Triangle
just
ships.
weird.
Yeah.
That's the one where the lady's like stealing Jake's creative energy and making him write till he dies.
Oh yeah.
There's For the Cause, which is excellent. That's the quintessential. What's his name? The dude in the yellow shirt who betrays them. Eddington. That's the
Paddington.
quintessential Eddington
Yeah, Chris
episode.
Paddington Bear.
Oh, that'll be such a better episode.
Paddington Bear, that damn turncoat.
Guy
And
in the yellow coat.
the last episode next week, DS9, is To the Death, which is the introduction of Wei Yun, the first Wei Yun.
Yeah.
Yay.
A
How
steady
about
dose
the
of Jeffrey
capture?
Holmes.
His name
These are
sounds
really-
like a sound effect. Where you.
These are
Like a lightsaber
Oh,
effect.
It's
Yeah.
also the first time Wayun dies, right?
Yes.
Think.
Oh,
They just
yeah,
love the
you
character
will.
so much. They weren't planning on bringing him back. They made the Vorta clones because they just wanted him back so badly.
He was
They
that
wanted
good.
Jeffrey Combs.
That show would not be the same because even when he
Oh my
has the
God.
Vorta Google Glass, we need that. We need that.
Star Trek
Jeffrey
itself
Combs
wouldn't be
is
the same.
Reanimator, and
Oh,
man, oh man, he is fucking great.
I got 2 items. The first is somebody mentioned Google Glass. Alexa now is making eyeglass frames. Certain people can pre-order them if you're on if you get in the super special list or whatever it is.
So it's Google Glass 2, Alexa Boogaloo.
Tracking us even more.
It's audio. It's audio only. There's no visual component to it.
What's its
And they-
utility then?
So then why is it glasses?
For people who
They
wear
can record
prescription
everything you
eyeglasses.
see.
I mean, you could have
if
a
it has
Bluetooth in you.
If it
It's
has
an
no
Apple
visual
Watch.
component, then
Oh,
It's an Apple Watch on your
Deutschland.
ears.
Deutschland, you turned off your camera right as I was switching to the cat cam.
Hold on.
Oh,
Accidentally went into the D&D one.
I did that earlier.
I need to readjust.
And what was your second thing? Yeah.
Secondly,
channels.
I put the link in Discord. But if anybody has, even if you've never been a fan of Mystery Science Theater, they did a skit circa 1995 or something like that of Michael J. Nelson as Captain Janeway. So if you search Google for MST3K Michael J. Nelson as Captain Janeway, he's actually dressed up in costume and the hairdo.
Oh my god.
With Crow and Servo.
That sounds amazing.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, chat. See you all next time.
Thank you, Deutschland.
Get out of here. Get out of here, people.
Episodes next week sound really good. I'm working, so I will.
So good.
Okay.
Run your...
Goodbye.
Farewell.
Live long and
All right, see you
prosper.
next week.